Everyone, and good evening. I am 329th in line. Excited to be hanging out with you tonight for an exciting Super Metroid A Link to the Past combo randomizer. Tonight's race on the restream is going to be SP Ridley versus Leslie Pro 04. And no doubt we are in for an exciting match. These are special, near and dear to my heart. This is the first rando that I got involved with, so always a pleasure to get to watch one of these seeds unfold. I will say, though, hopefully we don't have to see the usual way that these go. Hopefully we don't have to see a full clear of Super Metroid before we really get to touch A Link to the Past, but it tends to be the way that these go. But if there's anything you're hoping to see, go ahead and throw some fun ideas up in chat right now. We can see if anybody's kind of on the money tonight with their guesses. I'm thinking, I don't know, I'm thinking we might have a really late gravity suit. That's kind of my call for tonight. But if anybody has any fun, crazy ideas, I know chat can dream up some of the worst scenarios I've ever seen. Yeah, I think we had some craziness last week. I see Big Bocked in chat. We had some craziness last week that we were calming together, if you recall that. Ooh, a bow at Ridley. Chat, you're starting out pretty brutal, huh? No, it should be a great race. But no matter what we find, both of these runners are more than capable of handling the nastiness that this seed is planning. And it'll certainly be interesting to see who decides to take any major gambles tonight, or maybe both our runners. I love to see good divergence, but I don't like to see divergence that results in like a kind of a crushing blow to the other player. I kind of like to see both routes pay off pretty early on. So we'll have to see how it unfolds as we're going. Should be underway any second here, though. And I hope that everyone's enjoying this kind of lovely Monday evening. It's finally been warmer out, too. Not too bad today. Unless you like the cold, then I'm sorry, because for the most of us, we're probably moving towards the warmer weather, but I happen to not enjoy cold weather at all, so bring on spring. Let's see what else horrors that yes, Miss Metroid Summer, bring on the warmth. I see Varion Laser Bridge as another prediction. The horrors that chat can dream up. Ooh, and it looks like we have a Federation soldier versus Samus today. SP Ridley sporting that Federation soldier skin. Yep, and with that, we're underway. And there's your first big divergence. Leslie Pro is going to take a peek over at A Link to the Past, and SP Ridley's going to continue down into Blue Bryn. So, going to get some separation here. Oh, and that's a Book of Medora on the Hylian Island. So that can be one-way requirement to get into our Desert Palace, but there are other ways, especially with some of the warping that we can do between games here, so we'll see if that's even necessary. And I didn't catch what was at Desert, but it is a blue pendant today on Eastern Palace, as well as a red crystal up at Tower of Hera. So we're definitely going to be making up a play to take down Moldorm, and just a missile tank there at the Morph Ball pedestal. So I got my wish, I got my divergence, now I just got to keep track of both of them. And power bombs in the ceiling, that's going to be a hard reset on Ridley's side. And Uncle's giving out a little bit of love today. Take a piece of heart, especially early on. It's not anything super helpful. Oh, and chat keeping me honest there. It was a red pendant at Desert, it looks like. So 2 pendants in the light world. That's not a good sign for for items, because that means we're going to be dipping more of our Dark World dungeons. And some cash. Ooh. So SP Ridley showing off the Federation soldier for Super Metroid, as well as the Squirtle sprite for Link to the Past. Yeah, and Squirtle can't swim just yet. Gonna need some flippers before he can learn surf. So both our runners are kind of locked out of Metroid right now. Can't progress without a Morph Ball and bombs or power bombs. Oh, and there we go. SP Ridley grabbing a tree pull of bombs. That's super nice. And it was a red, looked like just some red rupees there on Leslie Pros for Lumberjack. But I didn't quite get a good enough look at it. We'll see if Ridley also goes and gives us a look at the Lumberjack check. But yeah, so as I was saying, sorry, I got a little sidetrack there. Yes, so kind of locked out of Super Metroid right now. We cannot progress without Morph Ball and bombs or Speed Booster, Screw Attack. That's going to be our major locks to get away from that kind of first part of Super Metroid. So if we don't have any of those, we can't progress forward. So for now, it's going to be poking around here and seeing what A Link to the Past has for us. Ooh, and that's a cape down in the Thieves' Den. That could be hinting at Aga. So we've seen an E-Tank and a Reserve Tank. So far just some health. We do know that there's a Power Bomb expansion in the ceiling of Blue Bryn. Ridley knows that. Ridley went down to check, but Leslie hasn't been down the Blue Bryn yet. And yeah, that's definitely a red 20. I'm getting a good look at it on Ridley's side. And Leslie, short on bombs, is going to check the back of the brewery here. And that's a good find because the brewery is serving up a change of clothes. We've got a Various suit already under 5 minutes in. And no problem for Leslie to be spending some cash on some much needed explosives. It's going to give us our checks for the rest of Kakariko here. Starting, of course, here with the Chicken Hut. And SP Ridley just a couple of screen transitions away, picking up Cape. Has a little bit more knowledge, has already been to Blue Bryn, but it really didn't yield anything except for that power bomb information in the ceiling. So other than that, SP Ridley and Leslie Pro pretty much on level playing field so far. Leslie with just a couple checks ahead, but Ridley is making way into Kakariko, going to be doing that as well. Going to check things in a different order here because Ridley already has bombs. Oh, and there's a big 300 cash payout as well as bombs down there also in... Ooh, there's the Morph Ball in the back of Blind's Hut. But yeah, if you're short on bombs, you can check the Blind's Hut checks before the bomb wall because there were bombs down here. SP Ridley is going to be able to go straight to the bottle vendor with that cash. I imagine Leslie Pro will make a loop around to catch bottle vendor on the way around again, though. So Kakariko with some nice stuff here. Got a Various suit, as well as the all-important Morph Ball. Two things you don't want to be running around Super Metroid without for too long. And I see the comment in chat, yes, it is all too easy to end up with the Super Metroid Go mode. And we're going to get some simultaneous bottle vendor checks. Power Bomb expansion. Definitely nice to have, especially when we haven't seen our regular Morph Ball bombs. And Leslie Pro heading south. Going to give us a look at the library ledge here. Just a green rupee. Certainly not worth the time to come back, and we're getting a blind race game check. SP really about to get that change of clothes. Yeah, not too worried about being hot tonight. Various suit under 5 minutes and under 8 minutes on Ridley's side. That's certainly nice to be able to run through Metroid, not having to worry about any heat damage. So with Morph Ball and with Power Bombs, we technically can progress a little further here in Super Metroid. I think we've also seen missiles and supers as well. So it'll be interesting to see if any of our runners decides to take that payout and head directly back into Super Metroid, or if they're going to progress for some more of these Sphere Zero-ish kind of early overworld checks in Link. And it does look like we're getting the same play from both runners here. So chat, I'll ask you, what do you think? Early Varia, does that mean that Gravity is going to be hiding out for a while, or is this going to be a pretty kind seed so far? Get a nice high five here at the dam. And those super missiles might be a little waterlogged, but they should fire just fine. Interesting that Leslie is going to go ahead and do the mini Moldworm Cave. This can be pretty rough without a weapon, and it does look like Leslie's reconsidering that decision. Oh, nope, maybe just resetting the room here. Yeah, 8 bombs. It's totally doable, but it's finicky and it's not fun. See if we can get the 2 for 1 here. Ooh, that top one kind of skates away just in time. But there we go. Leslie living up to the pro name, taking down the Moldworms. And let's see if it's worth the struggle here. I'd say that's a good payout. We get our first real weapon here. We've seen a bow as well as the Spazer Beam. So we got bow, definitely worth, as well as a bottle, which is going to give us a sick kid check. Kind of unfortunate since we've already been to CAC, but looks like Leslie gets a little bullied down there by the... I didn't see what that was that got him, but whatever it was. Does take the death. Is gonna take that bow up towards... Yeah, I really like this play. Gonna take the bow up towards the eastern area. Bullied by everything. Yes, chat. There was no mercy for Leslie down there. But Ridley on the kind of other end of the play hasn't gone didn't go down to Mini Moldworm Cave when it's a green pendant Skull Woods. Good to know. So that means Turtle Rock is on the table, as well as Misery Mire, our two not pendant, tongue-tied. Our 2 medallion required dungeons are both going to be crystals tonight. And some good cash and some energy, but that's about it for the back of Saha's closet. And Leslie's going to take that bow into Eastern. Makes sense on Ridley's end. Ridley doesn't have the bow from Mini Moldworm Cave, so he's going to head back down. Looks like that's the direction that Ridley is moving towards next. And Leslie Pro going to be giving us a first look at Pendant Eastern here. there's a big key right away. And yeah, you can see on Ridley's side, this is not the easiest. Oh, but does get the 2-for-1 there. This is not the easiest to do with just bombs, but with that bow on the other side of that door, it's certainly worth it. Always good to get a little bomb pickup here, too. And Ridley is heading up to check Ice Rod Cave. This is another one that early game can be tough. Those crabs do a lot of damage. They hit pretty hard early on in the game with no mail upgrades. But let's see if this was worth the trip. It fits the theme, Blue Rupee, but that's not what we were hoping to find up there. Ridley with the reset. Does have the bow, though, so we'll see if Ridley reconsiders maybe an Eastern play or going back into SM. Now, Leslie is technically out of logic here without the lamp, but our runners are certainly skilled enough to handle these early game dark rooms, as well as most of the dark rooms that you'll see. Yeah, and that's another good point I see here in chat. Escape is still outstanding, and having the bow is definitely a good incentive to push towards escape. It's a nice weapon to be able to push through this sequence with. This is another one, kind of like Moldorm Cave, which is just not fun to do with bombs. Interesting to see both our runners, though, kind of taking that bow into a different process here. Leslie felt really pulled to that pendant Eastern play. And Ridley getting the bow in a kind of a different order has prompted, you know, Ridley to head down and do this pattern and path here. So we'll see if there's a payout on either side, or sure, if there's nothing found in one side, we likely see our runners retracing steps here. And again, Leslie Pro showing off some skill navigating these dark rooms. Trying to find that Igor with the key. And I do believe was successful. I see the key count up. Just got to find that door now. And hiding down in Zelda's cell is just the map. It's certainly a good amount of things to keep track of between the two screens. So chat, you'll have to let me know if there's something in Dark Cross or not. It might just be... I don't think it would just be the key. Honestly, I don't remember, though. So chat, you let me know. And Sans Sword here. Having to take down those little worms with a bomb. That was pretty nifty strat. Setting up these red Igors for some nice quick kills there. And it is going to be Ridley's first to turn in that bottle. It is only a missile tank, though. Yeah, I'm a little... I don't know that I'm super surprised not to see the back of Escape play. We still don't have a glove, so there's no easy way to get back there. And those dark rooms are pretty out of logic. Those can be a lot harder to navigate than some of these early ones. But here we are. SP Ridley taking that Morph Ball, taking those Power Bombs and Supers, and already up to 25 Supers. That's a nice Super Missile count to start this run off with. But at just a hair under 17 minutes, Leslie Pro is the first runner to collect a pendant. So not yet sure how required that pendant's going to be, but in an early game dungeon that you had essentially full access to, it was, a little out of logic, but Leslie made short work of those dark rooms. So yeah, Eastern didn't turn out to be anything except that pendant, but it might be something on Ped. I know how chat loves to see something on pedestal. And our runners continuing to determined not to follow each other's routes here, as even though both of our runners have returned to SM, we've already got the divergence again. And the bomb Teresa is just a missile expansion. So no need to fight Bomb Teresa, the little DLC boss there, but SP Ridley making the play to head towards Red Tower and gets rewarded with a hook shot. There we go. It's certainly nice for mobility in A Link to the Past. It unlocks a couple of areas in different parts of the game, but it's also kind of a nice weapon when we're still swordless. It's something we don't have to rely on for ammo like the bow. So, hook shot coming up big so far. That's probably the biggest thing we've seen. And Alpha Power Bombs is just going to be an E-tank and a missile tank that SP Ridley's not even interested in. I have to say, I would have picked those up this early on. We are still under 20 minutes, no charge beam in sight here, so 5 more missiles, nothing to sneeze at, but SP Ridley does not, clearly does not share the same affinity for ammo that I do. Yeah, back of Gauntlet was nothing. I think it was a heart piece and an ammo upgrade. And Leslie Pro making the play into Green Bryn. Absolutely gorgeous mock ball from Leslie Pro. And there it was. It had to be somewhere. Oh, it's a little sword and shield combo there in the back, as well as a power bomb expansion. So Ridley found the hook shot, but Leslie Pro found a pretty nice and important item there, our first sword. And hey, I hate to say it, chat, but we are lamp away from Aga. We do have that cape. I've seen this question a few times in chat. SP is playing as the Federation soldier. I'm sorry, Federation trooper. Thank you, chat. So far, both routes paying out some nice stuff, and it looks like Ridley is going to give us a look at that front item of Gauntlet. We did see the back on Leslie's side, which I think we saw was kind of a whole lot of nothing, but there is one more item in here on this Chozo statue, so we'll have to see if this is something that Leslie's going to want to make a play back for. Kind of checking, this can be the danger of checking the back of Gauntlet. And even still, Ridley kind of making a little bit of a play here to make this check. This is not easy on 3 tanks. Does have the various suits, so a little bit of damage protection, but certainly not what you would want to be going through this. They don't call it the Gauntlet for nothing. Gauntlet is going to be delivering half magic, not required, but certainly a nice quality of life. But Edacoons were holding out on us because they're running a hardware store in the back. That's the hammer for Edacoons. Well, out of those 2 finds that we just saw, hammer is much more crucial to the run than the half magic's going to be, but half magic can offer you some extra damage output, gives you some more fire rod shots if it comes down to that on a late game boss, as well as some, cape or cane of burna, so that half magic play could still end up being big. Yeah, so a heart, yeah, I was right, heart container and some ammo back there, but the grappling beam is going to be hiding up here in pink Bryn, so SP Ridley happy to grab both of those, though. Yeah, grapple does give us access to get across to the wreck ship area. Grapple also gives us X-ray. Grapple is one of those items that it's kind of nice to have, especially when you're, sans high jump and space jump. But it can also be kind of rough because it can lead to possibly a shack tool play later. And it could mean that your space jump is kind of hiding further and further away from the game. So we'll have to see. I didn't catch this check on Leslie Pro's side. It was just super missiles, though. And Leslie very well could have checked this missile tank here. I just didn't catch it. Yeah, that's interesting. Do we go for the Fantoon play? Because right now, I mean, your loadout is kind of pushing you towards Norfair checks. We did get Variasuit pretty early. And Leslie Pro making the connection with that super missile block. Going to be able to get the Spore Spawn skip here and see what this item is. Oh, and those Mother Brain... That classic Mother Brain check is just a heart piece. Yeah, I see chat kind of making similar ideas about taking that Norfair play. I mean, either play is defendable, though. The grapple beam really does give you some confidence to push towards wreck ship, and we've seen wreck ship be stacked ship quite a few times, so it's a tough call either way. 10 arrows kind of on that back extra check in Blue Bryn, and SP Ridley wants nothing to do with... Oh, I was going to say nothing to do with those side hoppers, but it looks like instead is going to be checking the rest of Blue Bryn here. Oh, and was that Speed Booster? So Speed Booster hiding out at Charge Beam. The fabled green rang, yes. So Speed Booster is immediately going to put Waterway into logic, which can be finicky without the gravity suit, but is certainly possible. And our runners are... Oh, and there's the red rang. Red boomerang there on the back. And yeah, I forgot about these back half checks. So Ridley is going to be heading up, giving us a good look at Billy Mays. And Leslie's going to try to grab this short charge here. Nicely done. Is the payout worth it? Power bombs. Not bad. Certainly happy to have a higher count. Ooh, Ice Rod at Billy Mays. But what do we get? Buy one, get one. That's just $20. Not worth it. Ice Rod is nice because a lot of times these games can turn into Ice Rod hunts. If you're not familiar with the A Link to the Past rando and how it works out, Ice Rod really only locks one check. It's the only way to beat the boss of Turtle Rock. So it can kind of be anywhere else that's not on the boss of Turtle Rock. So that's a nice way to... It's just something nice, you don't have to look for. So we're getting Green Hill Zone on Leslie Pro's side. I do not believe we saw Wavegate glitch. It is harder to do without high jump boots, that's for sure. Yeah, I would have thought it was funny to see Ice Rod and Fire Rod. That would truly have lived up to the Billy Mays buy one, get one, but... And chat pointing out another good observation there. Yes, we got Spazer in A Link to the Past, so it does not automatically turn on. So they're going to have to manually engage that, which we did see Ridley do. But Leslie Pro is still firing just regular power beam. And early on game, Spazer's a nice damage increase. I know people have a lot of a lot of shade to throw around for the Spazer beam, but if you don't have plasma, it's definitely worth it. But Leslie is taking that grapple beam over to the X-ray check. I like this play. This is something that I see kind of get left behind pretty easily. And it's always nice to come through here with the gravity suit, because even if you take a tumble, I'm sorry, not the gravity suit, Various suit. Because even if you take a tumble, those spikes aren't dealing the damage they are regularly. So Various suit gives you nice protection to get through here. Just a bottle. Thought about it, but kind of got locked out by the column there. So Leslie Poe's going to go up to 2 bottles there. I don't want to get into numbers, chat, because I honestly don't know the breakdown of how numbers come together. But if anyone wants to chime in on how much Spazer actually is a damage boost, it would be much appreciated. I know it's at least significant. Well, so the big divergence that we've seen here so far is that SP Ridley decided to go right after flipping over to Super Metroid and was rewarded with really only a hook shot. Nothing else major of note over there. Leslie Pro went left, down through Green Bryn. And Leslie Pro picked up Sword, Hammer, and Speed Booster. But we're going to see SP Ridley picking those up just a few seconds now. Oh, and Ice Rod at Billy Mays. Sorry, that was another one. And yeah, it looks like chat confirming that Spazer is double power beam. So that definitely helps kind of move you through the rooms a little quicker. 50 rupees is, I mean, it's 50 bucks. Not great, but we'll take it. Might put the fish in logic, right? We got to make a rather large purchase today from King Zora, should we need that. And had those super missiles armed on Leslie's side. Yeah, I was going to say, I think we're going to go straight over to take on Kraid here. What's fun here is a speed booster without high. There we go. Leslie getting an eye for that Spazer beam there. Speed booster without high jump apparently really messes up your jump. I can't play Super Metroid to save my life, so I can't speak to that personally, but all the other comms I work with in the runners always say, speed booster with that high jump is so frustrating. So you saw some of that right now. Leslie turning off the speed booster. Make sure to be able to kind of get that wall jump to get into Kraid's lair here. Ooh, and a reserve tank. Again, runners have mixed opinions on them, but I think early on game, it doesn't hurt to have some extra stuff there, so not going to be mad to have extra health. And SP Ridley finds Big Pink, is going to get Grapple Beam as well as, I believe it was Speed Booster down at Charge. Those were the big rewards down here. And just around that time, Leslie Pro making way into take on Kraid. Going to be filling up on supers first before the fight. Can farm them right here from Mini Kraid. And SP Ridley living up to... Ooh, a nice damage boost from Leslie Pro to get through that room quick. But Ridley living up to the I'm done with missile expansions kind of way of life here. But yes, Leslie Pro taking on Kraid. Will we see Kraid rise to power? Or are we going to get the quick kill here? Teeing it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Leslie Pro showing some patience, getting a nice setup, and with the quick kill. That is Kraid down at just a hair under 32 minutes for Leslie Pro. Well, Kraid's closet only had a missile tank, but we do get one more check courtesy of the Green Lizard, as this room on the way back out of here towards the Norfair elevator does become unlocked with defeating Kraid. So we'll see if the Kraid E-Tank has a payout that was worth it. But either way, we had to take him down, because if you're unfamiliar with this or maybe new to the rando, for either or both of these games, endgame sequences are triggered by having all 4 major bosses defeated in Super Metroid. So that's Kraid, Phantoon, Dragon, and Ridley. As well as Ganon's Tower is made accessible once you have collected all 7 crystals. And you need to finish both games to submit a .done for this. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Leslie skipped Wave. I could totally be wrong, but I didn't see Leslie go up and do Wave. But SP Ridley giving us a look at it, and it is just a Super Missile expansion. So if that is the case, Leslie's not missing out on much. I see chat confirming that. Yes, thank you. Yeah, Leslie Pro is following down into Norfair. I can't say this is that surprising, because we've had that Various suit early on and does get a Master Sword. So that is some nice damage increase to start for when we do go through A Link to the Past. We really haven't cleared too much of that game, so Master Sword early on is never bad. And a bug catching net. We do have 2 bottles, right? So why not fill it up with some fairies? Ridley does not want missile expansions, but is not going to turn away from power bomb expansions, so it takes that speed booster down to Waterway. I like the clear of Waterway, even if it's not something good. It feels nice to not have to worry about this location. And using the little quick exit there is much faster than trudging through the water without gravity suit, that's for sure. Aga was already in logic until all we need is the lamp still. So we've had that cape for a while too. I think cape was like the first or second item we got. So we're still a lamp away from Aga access here. We do have Hammer though, so we're a glove away from being able to skip Aga for Dark World access, and we know there's nothing on Lumberjack Ledge too. So yeah, we're a power glove away from being done with Aga here. And hey, take a look up there on Spectacle Rock. That's high jump boots. And Leslie Pro reminding us that we still do not have the lamp, as we were just talking about, but that's no problem for Leslie. Gonna take a walk through the dark cave here. Gonna rescue the old man, as well as grab access to this respawn point, which is always nice to have. And we see the play into Blue Bryn for Ridley, which can only mean that we're heading up towards Wrecked Ship, because Ridley's already been down this area and cleared this portion out. So I'm thinking this is a Wrecked Ship play. And Leslie, again, living up to the pro in the name, having no issues navigating that dark room. Does only get a heart piece, but I think more importantly gets that respawn point, because now that's easy access back to Norfair if you ever need that too. And we're seeing that right here. But you can kind of restart from anywhere in Zelda and jump right over to Norfair. So Leslie prioritizing a little bit of ease of navigation here. And this is Ice Beam checked for Leslie Pro now. And Ridley showing us, oh, taking the speed booster up to this kind of climb shaft here. This is interesting. This can certainly be difficult to pull off without Ice Beam. Yeah, gonna be power bombing some of these little, I don't know, goobler looking things. I don't know what they're called, but they get in the way and they're annoying. Yes, the rare fully in logic Ice Beam check, but after taking out those little yellow things, there we go. He's going to be able to get some information, and that's not the information that Ridley was hoping. It's just 20 bucks on those shaft super check. But I think we are, an Ice Beam was nothing, but we are getting the play, it looks like, down to Croc, which is one of my all-time favorites. Just, I don't know why, I love Croc. I just think he's so cool looking. So at least 1 out of 2 on the restream is going to be giving us a look at Croc, and if there's something good behind him, then I would imagine we'll see the play over here as well. We haven't even gotten to Croc yet, and there's already a good payout because that is the mirror. Crumble Mountain. What have you got for us today? You've got the mirror. Big find, especially with having just been up on Death Mountain, knowing that you can flip over with the mirror to grab those high jump boots, so not a bad place to find that. But Ridley giving us the criteria power bombs check, and that's a sword. That's going to be Master Sword for Ridley, but that is Tempered Sword as far as we know, because we found a second sword down there right at the business center. So hey, Croc, how you doing? Yeah, mirror is certainly a nice find. And not only does it help with some of the logic requirements for mirror, but it's also just great to be able to flip between and use for routing. You can kind of seamlessly route your Dark World, Light World checks based on some of that stuff. So it's always nice to have earlier rather than later. And our runner's continuing to avoid the same path here. Ridley is going over to the wreck ship. Gonna get a look at what's up in this area as Leslie continues to dig deeper into Norfair. Having a little bit of a time here with Croc. Hey, hiding down there underwater in the wreck ship, that's not just a pearl, but the moon pearl. A fitting place for it. You find pearls underwater, right? Yeah, Croc just doesn't want to take a swim today. I can't blame him because, it's lava and it's gonna kill him, but yeah, Croc, just a few more steps. Just want to back up just a little bit. There we go. And Leslie Pro managing to take down Croc. Croc was determined to avoid melting today, but Leslie following suit. There we go. No payout directly. There's a couple more checks over here to the left of Croc, but I'd say that mirror is pretty important. So yeah, Fantoon feels like there might be something good here, but the mirror is big. I don't want to minimize the mirror find, but there could be something really nice over here. And that moon pearl is hard required. No options around that. So Leslie's going to have to go diving for pearls. And at 40 minutes, SP Ridley is going toe to tentacle with the ghost in an effort to pay the power bill, if you will. Because once we defeat Fantoon, we get access to a lot of these lock checks here in the wreck ship when the power comes back on. I believe there are 2 more checks down here with Croc. So X-ray scope, not really what you're hoping to find, especially still haven't seen plasma or charge, so it really offers you no help. And yes, the mirror will also be required because Swamp is a crystal. That is correct. So Ridley's going to have to make the play now. Whether Ridley chooses to go all the way to Croc, we'll see if that is required or not. But at least for now, we know that that mirror is going to be a must pick up. So if you see a lot of divergence, this is at least what you like to see because, our runners are going to have to cover the same ground at some point. So and Varia 5 E-tanks, I think maybe 1 or possibly... Yeah, 1 reserve is all that Ridley has. So not the worst fight for Fantoon. Certainly not the best. Oh, I'm sorry. Now we have 2 more checks. I always forget about the this room here on Leslie's side. So there's 2 more possibilities for Croc to pay out something nice. But at just a hair over 42 minutes, SP Ridley taking down the first Super Metroid boss. Oh. That's gloves. So Croc, a little deceptive with the cash payout, is certainly kind of rewarding here in spades. Because that is a power glove as well as a mirror. And we've got one more check. What's the bonus buy here? Just another 20 bucks. But that glove and that mirror are definitely required. So, and yes, with that glove pickup, there is no need to be giving Aga a visit today. I'm sure the runners feel good about that. Well, I'll say runner for now, as Ridley doesn't have that information. But Ridley very well could get a glove up here in the wreck ship. So. Yeah, and chat kind of going along with a comment that I made a little bit ago. It is nice to see key items in both routes when there's such divergence, because it's very possible that Leslie goes into a Link to the Past from here with some of the payout that we've gotten. We have a glove, we have a mirror, but we don't have Moon Pearl, so there's only so many places that Moon Pearl can be in a Link to the Past. I would wager that Leslie's going to head to wreck ship first. And if that's the case, it's definitely the right play because the Moon Pearl is hiding up there. But we could see kind of the same mentality from Ridley, although I think that with just the Moon Pearl, there's definitely not as much open to you as it is to have the mirror and the gloves. So. So Leslie feeling a lot better walking out of Croc than I think we did after killing Croc. Croc kind of felt like a little bit of a bust there for a second, but those gloves were just the accessory that we were hoping to find to make that trip worth it. And Leslie is skipping rupees like Ridley's skipping missiles at this point. Ooh, spiky Room of Death was not worth it. Gonna take that reset. That's why you always save, so you can save scum that trip if it's not worth all the time to come back. So coming up from Croc, we're getting Bubble Mountain. Definitely nice for the routing, kind of keeping things neat and together. Hey, look, the ice beam. Kind of an ironic place to find this, right? Well, ice is going to help with a little bit of damage, but more so we get some of the benefits of ice as far as being able to freeze the Metroids when we're going down through Torian, as well as if Leslie decides to check those Shaft Supers, which, you know, we saw Ridley check, we know they're nothing. Leslie can save a little bit of time because be able to freeze those little goobler things as opposed to having to take the time to take them out one by one. But out of the options, Ice Beam is... it's the least damage increase. But yeah, it certainly does make things nice. And even as you see right there, Leslie Pro taking advantage of the ice swag to make that Bubble Mountain climb a little easier. Kind of giving new meaning to the term ice climbers, right? I'll just boo myself since I don't have a co-com. Boo. Hey, Tempered Sword sitting up there at Wreck Ship, so that means we know where Gold Sword is. Yes, I booed myself. I booed myself. I knew it was a bad joke. When you're in the commentator's booth, you can't help but make the horrible puns. And the Bloomerang. Yeah, tempered is a big time save as far as just taking down bosses in less spins or slashes, as well as, you know, cutting through enemies a lot quicker. So temper is a big find. It's not glove big. Was that? Okay, I saw arrows, but I couldn't see the little symbol next to it. It looked a little bit like that might be silvers. But I will trust chat or our tracker for confirmation. Was that silver arrows at the Wreck Ship Reserve? I see we have fans of the Bloomerang in chat tonight. Oh, it's 10 arrows? Okay. I couldn't tell. It went by so quickly, and it was kind of glimmering silver from the power bomb. But hey, Ina Samaria. So kind of the Norfair route continuing to pay off with some nice stuff. Another big find. And the Ether Medallion. So that's our first of 3 medallions. We need a medallion to get into Misery Mire, and we're going to need a Turtle Rock. And just because it's rando and we love to have fun with it, we have no idea which one that'll be. Could be the same for both, could be different. We'll have to see, but at least for now, we're a third of the way to putting that puzzle together. Yeah, it feels like an old-timey game show when it comes down to what medallion, you know, like shuffling the cups around. What medallions are going to be? And SP Ridley is taking the time to go through this little bowling cutscene here. Going to get a look at an item down here, as well as what is normally the gravity suit on the way out of the wreck ship. So we'll see. Not really a huge option as far as I think Norfair was definitely better. I see you, chat. I'll try to adjust a little bit. We'll see. Well, I apologize for some of the popping. I lowered the gain a little bit on the mic, but we'll see if that's a little better. Feel free to let me know if it gets considerably worse. We'll try to see what we can do to adjust it. Anyway, as I was saying there a second ago, yeah, this is a really great race because there's been good payouts on both sides, and there's certainly a lot to feel good about. I would say if you're, you know, in either runner's position, you found Moon Pearl if you're Ridley. Great. Glad to hear it, chat. Thank you. Let me know if it starts acting up again. I can try to adjust some stuff on my interface, but thank you. Oh, we'll use that X-ray scope to take a little advantage of taking a lava dip here, because high jump boots, or Pegasus boots here at the Cathedral, that's a pickup that you're going to want. So we're going fast in Metroid, and we're going fast in A Link to the Past. But yeah, this has been a really good seed so far because both runners are getting a nice payout. There's requirements on both sides. I do, especially with that Pegasus boots find, I have to say Norfair was definitely a little more stacked today than I'm used to seeing. But kind of to recap here, Wreck Ship really only had the mandatory boss kill. The Moon Pearl, I say only had, and it had a major required item there in the Moon Pearl, as well as what is our Tempered Sword for Ridley, but probably will be our 4th sword for Leslie. We'll have to see. But as far as the rest of it goes, we had Norfair had another sword as well. Norfair had Ether, Mirror, Gloves, Pegasus boots, and Cane of Samaria. So huge payouts from the Norfair dip. But we do see Leslie heading over into A Link to the Past sans Moon Pearl. So that's be interesting to see how long Leslie stays here in A Link to the Past. There's not a lot left we can do is going to be able to clear out Hera. It's a crystal, so we have to do it anyway. It might find something nice up here. It does pick up those high jump boots on Spec Rock. Oh, it gets rewarded with Spring Ball. That's always fun to have. And Spring Ball and Ice Beam. I don't know, are we thinking of a suitless Meridia here? It is normal logic, I believe, so I don't think that would be required, but I know with Spring Ball, Ice, and High Jump, you can navigate suitless Meridia, albeit in a frustrating way, but it is possible. Oh, and Hera is Firelock, so not going to be able to finish out Hera. See, I'm trying to think. With the gloves and the mirror, though, there's a couple of things I feel like Leslie could get a little sidetracked on looking for the Moon Pearl, but I think Leslie... I would definitely consider Leslie with a slight edge here because Leslie found a lot more, like dug around a lot more. So it's going to take Ridley a little bit of time to go through Norfair and kind of make the progress back. But Ridley's find up on the wrecked ship is big because it's kind of locking Leslie out from moving on in Link to the Past. Does take the death there. And Leslie going up for round 2 here against these dead rocks. Wants to get over to East Death Mountain and get a look at a Paradox Cave and some of those other checks down there. But in the meantime, SP Ridley taking on Kraid. Already has Fantoon down, so this is going to be Ridley's second Super Metroid boss kill. And we did see the quick kill from Leslie's side. Are we going to be rewarded with a quick kill as well on Ridley's side? Unfortunately, we're 1 for 2 tonight on the quick kills as Kraid's rise to power is complete. And Ridley is going to have to take down Kraid the way it was always intended. Well, nonetheless, a nice quick, non-quick kill from SP Ridley as making short work of Kraid after that. We're getting simultaneous, I was going to say missile pickups, but I should have known better. I should have known Ridley wanted nothing to do with those missiles. And Leslie going through Spiral Cave, not finding much of anything, but is going to give a look here at Paradox Cave. 7 item checks down here. So we got 2 down in this cave and then 5 more up top. So definitely density for something to show up. And hey, there's something to show up. We've got the space jump boots there in Paradox Cave lower room. Well, if we were moving good with high jump, we're certainly moving good now with space jump. I guess we can forgive the top of Paradox Cave for being completely worthless when we get rewarded with space jump downstairs, right? Well, Leslie Pro, again, I feel like Leslie has a lot more to get distracted by because of stuff like the glove, the mirror, the boots. So this is going to give Ridley a chance to kind of clear most of Norfair here. I hope that we don't see Leslie put off Wreck Ship for too long, because that's essentially, I mean, that's really where we need to go next. That Moon Pearl is going to kind of open the rest of, not the rest of A Link to the Past, but it's going to open a large portion of A Link to the Past, because that's going to give us all those Dark World overworld checks, as well as some early Dark World dungeons too. Yeah, this was certainly a tough seed to read. as far as what you should do with it, because getting very early really kind of pushed you away from Wreck Ship. But having that payout at Wreck Ship, I don't know. Oh, but Bonk Rocks is going to give us the Charge Beam. That's certainly nice having the Spazer and the Ice upgrade as well. It's going to give us a little bit of damage. A little bit of damage boost here. And the ever valuable soft lock prevention. Leslie Pro is going to check Sick Kid with the bottle. We've already seen this. I believe it was just some cash. It was missiles, okay. And yeah, chat pointing out, we're still quite a few things away from dungeon progression in the Dark World. That is certainly true, but I think that something like you're lamped out of Eastern, or not Eastern, I'm sorry. You're lamped out of pod, but there are chests in pod before the lamp, so it's possible that we could have to make the play over there. So I'm trying to answer the question in chat as well as keep an eye on what's going on. So it looks like Ridley grabbed Mirror, but is going to head back up to check Ice. Really hope Ridley proceeds down to Croc. I can't see a world where Ridley doesn't go down to Croc with what we're missing right now, but certainly hope that that's what's on Ridley's mind. And see, Leslie Pro is going over some of these overworld checks. And is just kind of leave a bomb for the blue item there. Something else to keep in mind, I just remembered with the Ice Rod pickup, is Leslie Pro does not have the Ice Rod. Ice Rod was hiding out at Billy Mays. Now, see, this is what I was a little afraid of on Ridley's side. Ridley is going to go up through the ceiling, avoid the Croc play. I mean, hopefully makes the Croc play in a little bit when nothing else pans out, but that's where our gloves are. Some important stuff down there. Yeah, and there is the butter sword for SP Ridley. But yeah, as we were saying just a few seconds ago, there are definitely some things that we're still missing to progress through those Dark World dungeons, but Moon Pearl really gives you a nice chunk of access to some overworld stuff. There's a lot of checks between Thieves Town and Village of Outcasts. As well as having access to the mirror, we can check some other things too, just being able to flip like Cave 45, and we do know where the book is, so we could be checking tablets once we got to that point. So, oh, we don't have flippers to get to the island. I apologize. We cannot get the book yet. Hey, there's Morph Ball bombs though on the big fish. I'd say Morph Ball bombs is worth $500. Definitely not this late in the game, but definitely not after you find things that help you through worst room of the game. And it's a very, very minor thing to note, but it is a little rough to be going through the game on Master Sword when you're, you don't know it, but your opponent is going to be going through these checks with Gold Sword. It's minor, but it's the kind of thing that's where seconds add up. But Leslie Pro is in the right direction here. Back in SM is going to check some of these. Going to check some of these things that were left earlier. I know that I know Leslie Pro has not been to Blue Bryn either, so quite a few options left here for Leslie. Yeah, the only fortunate thing, I guess, is I don't think that Ridley can check anything that Leslie couldn't check as far as SM goes. So I don't think that we're going to find a lamp that pulls Ridley away from Croc play and straight to an Aga play. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, and I will certainly be wrong again. And we're seeing on Leslie's side exactly what I was talking about. That Ice Beam gives you a little bit of save of time here, as Ridley had to go one by one and take out those goobler things. Also, I keep calling them gooblers. If anybody knows what they're really called, please tell me. Although Goobler seems like a fitting name. They seem like... Thank you, chat. I appreciate that. Oh, are those X-Parasites? I have no idea. I don't know. Are they? Hmm. Yeah, I didn't think they were X-Parasites because the X-Parasites don't like stay in one spot like that, and they're also not on this planet, yeah. But I don't know. They kind of look like it, but I'm gonna stick with Goobler since I got chat's blessing for that. Yes, the long-awaited Fusion Minish Cap combo randomizer. So yeah, seeing our runners kind of overlapping each other's checks here. Ridley's done all this blueprint stuff. The only real payout here is Billy Mays had the ice rod, which we know we need because Trinex is a crystal. So not a bad pickup, and certainly not a bad find as far as taking that off your mind. You don't have to keep looking for that. And in the meantime, as Ridley continues to dig through Norfair, finding some of the treasure trove of items here. Ridley grabbing that Cane of Samaria, picking up the Ether. And hopefully gonna head down to Croc at some point soon. Very important item down there. It's the first of all, it's the first glove we've seen, so it seems to be the logical progression, but also it's the only glove we've seen. So, and I honestly, for Ridley's sake, I really hope we don't see another glove anywhere else that Ridley kind of stumbles upon, because that's going to drive Ridley further and further away from Croc. And we know both gloves are required, so... Yeah, I see chat pointing out those outstanding Go Mode items are going to be Flippers, Titans, Fire Rod, Gravity, and I would throw in the medallions, yeah, because we still don't know about what the medallions are going to be. Could be that we already have everything that we need. Chances are it won't be. The odds are not in our favor there, but... You never know. Could be a double Ether. Could also be a Bombos and a Quake, and we could just be right back looking for a coin-operated entry there. But yes, Ridley is heading down to Croc. This is great. Ridley's not going to feel good after finishing Croc and getting 20 bucks for it, but I think Ridley will feel a lot better when able to leave here with a nice power glove in hand as well. So let's see if Croc plays a little better for Ridley. It was kind of finicky for Leslie Pro there. Didn't want to play nice, but Croc seems to be behaving much more willing to die in this turn of events here. I will say something that is very interesting. To see Leslie checking things like Wavegate and some other stuff that was early left off behind, I would be very interested to see when these runs line back up again. Because there obviously will come a point in time where Leslie does go for the Moon Pearl, and Ridley has gotten some of that, the Power Glove, and I think that's really the only thing at this point. Yeah, I think that's all that was down here. Yeah, because we've already grabbed the mirror. Yep. So, kind of in a turn of events, after Leslie found a bunch of nice stuff early on, that find for the Moon Pearl is proving to be kind of eating away here at Leslie Pro's... I'm not going to call it a huge lead, because our runners took such diverse routes that it was kind of hard to justify either... Not to justify, I'm sorry, to not justify either run, because we did kind of find really important stuff on both sides. But in this case, I would have said that Leslie just had the edge as far as, found more useful items early on. But it does appear to be Ridley who's going to walk back into A Link to the Past just with a slight edge there. But he's going to have to do things like pick up those high jump boots. And I think what else? Oh, we saw space jump as well. So I'm going to be pretty interesting how close these runs kind of intersect again. And Leslie is one room away from picking up Hookshot, as well as Ridley getting an eye of the spoils that lie here in the cave. Definitely going to want to pick those up. Yeah, and that's kind of a little bit poetic there. So we've got Leslie Pro picking up the hook shot, something that Ridley's had for a while, and Ridley picking up the power glove, something that Leslie Pro has had in hand, no pun intended there, for quite some time. But yeah, this is for all the divergence and for all the spoils that we found, it's kind of evened up nicely here. Leslie Pro en route to head over to the wreck ship is going to be rewarded with a Moon Pearl, the ever important Moon Pearl, and pretty much nothing else. I think there was a sword. That was it, right? I mean, I guess the Phantoon kill is important. And yes, Leslie has the charge beam. Leslie goes diving for pearls and finds a very valuable pearl at that. And welcome the raiding party of 19. You are in the middle of a great race here. We've got a SMZ3 combo randomizer where both our runners took some pretty divergent routes here from the beginning, but it's kind of evened up. So you're kind of getting in just when the action's getting good here because the games are kind of wide open now. We've got access to Dark World for A Link to the Past, which is kind of what's been holding us back here. So really the first runner is going to be able to dig a little more into A Link to the Past. Leslie Pro just picking up the Moon Pearl. Yeah, and unfortunately, chat, given the location of that fourth sword, I guess it was the third sword that we saw. It's the Criteria Power Bombs location. I'm not sure that Leslie's going to make the play to go up there. So that's something else that may be, again, a small time save in places, but one that's going to add up over the course of an entire A Link to the Past play, essentially. So Ridley's going to be running all of A Link to the Past on Gold Sword. And Leslie's going to be sitting at Tempered, unless there's a big brain play to head up to Criteria Power Bombs. Yes, it is time for Leslie Pro to go toe-to-tentacle with Phantoon, looking just to pay the power bill, really. Does have Charge Ice Spazer, so is dealing a little more damage if need be, but certainly has enough ammo to make this a full missile fight, not have to worry about it. But very interesting Spike Cave check from Ridley's side. This is something I tend to forget exists from time to time. So unfortunately, did have the half magic to get through it, but just didn't have enough in the magic board. Oh, it does have a fairy though. Great. I missed that. Must have just picked that up. Oh, 2 fairies. Great. Well, then we are more than capable of getting through this. So what's the reward? It's just a shield, though. Not the payout we were hoping for. That's certain. It looks like Ridley's happy to burn the other fairy going back. And Fantoon kind of not playing super nice. So the bosses for SM for Leslie's side have been a little finicky. They just don't seem to want to die today. But there we go. Leslie Pro firing that last missile into Fantoon, taking Fantoon down at just a hair under an hour and 13 minutes. So that's 2 bosses down in Super Metroid for Leslie. And about that same time, Ridley picking up high jump boots and is about to find out that Tower of Hera is fire locked. And as I say that, I remind myself that we still don't have a fire source. Yeah, chat, there's certainly a chance that Leslie goes and picks that up as like a front of gauntlet check. You're completely correct. My only thought is Leslie may not feel good about where that Moon Pearl was and might just kind of rush straight back to A Link to the Past because that has been the lock. Oh, very nice strat there. Get some hype in chat. Ridley goes ahead and having the hook shot is able to do the Harapot glitch and manages to go up here without a fire source. Also knows he's not going to have to check the basement because we know that has to be a key. So it's a matter of, is there something in the big chest or can we ditch that big key? Yeah, that was a really nice Harapot glitch. So if we get an item on Moldworm, we don't have to check that. Oh, got both items. Okay. See, chat, that's why I love you. Keep me in line. Oh, that's right. We saw Spring Ball in the basement. Completely forgot about that. Chat's the real MVP here as they're my co-com tonight. Well, SP Ridley using a little bit of swag with that really, really nicely pulled off Harapot glitch. Manages to get up there, takes down Moldorm, and is rewarded with the first crystal that we've seen on stream here. And after going through all the way around through the spiky room of death, only to find out that it's missiles, Leslie Pro takes the very appropriate reset and is going to head back to get to clearing the rest of Wrecked Ship here. Yeah, first crystal at an hour and 15 minutes in. You're not kidding. I am happy to see... Oh, what I'm not happy to see is Ridley having to fight that dead rock. What a nasty spot for that. It's a shame that that dead rock couldn't see that Squirtle was trying to get through the door there. How rude, right? Well, I was gonna say what I am happy to see though is a nice run where we're not full clearing Metroid before we step foot in A Link to the Past. That's always nice. Too often these seeds are, here's everything you need to finish off Super Metroid. Okay, now you can go play Link to the Past. And that's just not as fun, right? It's nice to see it kind of scattered between both. And Ridley going to be taking a look at the top of Paradox Cave. We know there's nothing else up here. We saw this check from Leslie. Got the space jump that was downstairs, though. Very important. And in the vein of checks that we've seen, Leslie Pro picking up that tempered sword. Certainly a nice, I'm pretty sure that is the biggest damage increase to go from mastered to tempered. So Leslie's going to feel good about that, but has the potential to feel even better because there's a butter sword sitting up there, criteria power bombs for Leslie. And yes, chat, getting the much more clear and patient X-ray check from Leslie, so I can definitely see that's not silver arrows. Well, chat, we've got our Dark World access with Hammer, Glove, and Moon Pearl. I would love to know where you think the progression is going to be. What do you think it's going to be, and where do you think it's going to be hiding? We're still on the hunt for flippers. We're going to be looking for gravity suit. We need a fire rod. We need possibly a lamp if the fire rod is lamp locked. And we still could need 2 more medallions. So, yeah, chat, what do you think we're going to see here? I have a sneaking suspicion that we're going to see vanilla Titan's mitts. Or at least French vanilla Titan's mitts. Oh, fetch quests? Okay, we could go on a fetch quest. Lamp into pod, okay. So I see somebody said fetch quest. What fetch quest to be specific? If you're gonna if you're gonna wish for the absolute worst case scenario, what's the fetch quest you're hoping to see? Yeah, Leslie Pro finding just some more cash on the way out of wreck ship. This wreck ship doesn't feel good if you're Leslie Pro. It probably felt a lot better if you were Ridley because you came here earlier, got the Moon Pearl, and kind of weren't worried that you didn't get anything else. But Leslie is not happy to see that because that means that this Moon Pearl's been sitting here for a while. Blacksmith has shoveled a mushroom to lamp. Hey, there's the pickup. So I was wrong. It is not French vanilla or vanilla Titan's mitts, but it is Pendant Skull Woods that is delivering today because we have found those gold mitts, those Titan's mitts, and keeping the theme of gold here, Leslie Pro does make the play upwards and grabs that butter sword. So gold all around this evening. And chat, you were completely right. Leslie going up to check the front of Gauntlet as well before heading back into A Link to the Past. Yeah, Ridley's got to feel great with that pickup. That is an expansive amount of the game open to us. It still doesn't get us into ice because we need flippers to get up there. We do have a good portion of what we need to get up into Turtle Rock now. We still need the fire rod, though, to get past those first couple of rooms. So, yeah, I would imagine we won't be seeing plays up there until we get a little maybe desperate for that. But let's see. Half magic, Leslie. What are you thinking? Leslie says, I'll take it. But is going to go back out the front door of Gauntlet. Definitely makes sense since Leslie knows what's on the back here. And Ridley, too, is happy to do this dark room. One of the easier ones for sure, and that says a lot if I'm saying it, because I'm terrible at doing dark rooms in this game. But this is one of the ones that's not too bad. That's true, we need a fire source or bombos to even progress through ice. I was just thinking of getting there. Alright, so Leslie Pro is going to be heading into a Link Pass now. Very similar item count here. Yeah, the only real big difference is that Ridley found those Titan's Mitts and is immediately taking the Titan's Mitts over to Dark Death Mountain. We'll see which direction Leslie decides to head with Dark World access here. Is going to Thieves, or is going to CAC, so either going to be a Thieves Town play or a Skullwoods play. Skullwoods would be big. That would tie this race up kind of immediately. Only probably like 2 or 3 minutes behind on the pickup. But we are going to get a look at what our entrance requirement is here for Turtle Rock. I think this is just good to know, no matter what your plans are. So what's it going to be? Is it Ether? It is Vanilla Quake. So we can add Quake to the list of things we're looking for, chat. I guess the real question here now is Quake or Ether going to be our access for Misery Mire? Because if not, we're on a full medallion stock here. So we know we're going to need at least one more. And there's that shovel for whoever was saying fetch quest. Dark Death Mountain still has quite a few more checks. We'll be able to maneuver our way around Hookshot Cave for some cash. Some missiles. Well, there's some missiles in C-shaped house and some more missiles in Hookshot Cave. So Hookshot Cave is a big fat nothing. But Leslie's given us our look at Thieves Town here. I'm sorry, Village of Outcasts here. So this could be big because this is some new information. And something else to keep kind of in the back of our minds here is we still haven't seen a mail upgrade for A Link to the Past at all, which is not anything that's required, but certainly can be frustrating to start getting into these late game sequences and be still on green mail and only, I think 7 hearts? Yeah, only 7 hearts for Ridley and maybe 8 hearts for Leslie, if I count correctly. The Morph Ball bombs were a trade for $500 to the Big Fish. But Ridley is going to be going, looks like, over to check some of these. Yeah, possibly a King's Tomb. And a Graveyard Ledge check. I like this. These are some outlying things that can get left behind. So there might be something good here. Definitely wouldn't be out of line to find something nice here based on those Titan's Mitts locations. I guess that's somewhat French vanilla-esque. It's normally a heart or a heart piece, right? So an energy tank. It's like a time capsule of French vanilla. But yeah, the advantage of having those earlier does mean you're not going to be putting these off. But, you know, an E-tank is not what you want to see. And hopefully there's something better up here for Ridley to make this play worthwhile. Yeah, Ridley doesn't want that. That's not what Ridley wants to see. Well, if nothing else, it's some knowledge you can get off your shoulders, maybe, and then, you know, if Leslie happens to find those mitts a lot later, that'll be something that Leslie has to have weighing on the kind of in the back of the mind there. But did we see anything else in Thieves Town? I'm gonna be honest, I was focusing on the King's Tomb and Graveyard Ledge check too. I didn't see anything jump out, but and you see right here, this is exactly what I was talking about. Leslie is on 2 hearts, and those grasshopper things, that's how much damage they do. So you gotta be careful in these late game dungeons. I guess I should say later, quote, later game dungeons, because this isn't, I wouldn't consider this a late game dungeon, but nevertheless, these Dark World enemies hurt. They hit hard, and our runners are not sitting at like huge, you know, heart container counts. That feels good to tank some of these hits, so gotta be careful. Does have Butter Sword though, and you're seeing the advantage of having something like that for these later game dungeons. So down here in the cell is just some bombs. Does have the small key though. And so based on the fact that we're going over here, I'll assume we have not seen it. Yep, so there's the compass. So that means I guess something has to be on blind, because we wouldn't have checked this if there were no options. So yes, that is true. This is the second red crystal for Ridley, as the other red crystal is Tower of Hera. So having gone up there with boots and the hookshot, Ridley was able to grab that Hera pot glitch and skip over the fact that it was fire locked. I mean, it's as simple as something up in the pyramid ledge being, not pyramid ledge, in the pyramid fairy spot being the fire rod, if the lamp is somewhere else, kind of like buried somewhere where you were supposed to go get the lamp first to complete Hera. So that would be a nice, not just a nice find, but a big skip for Ridley if something like that happens. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities. Blind did have an item, but it was 20 bucks. But that is the the first crystal on Leslie Pro's side at an hour. Let's say an hour and 30 minutes. Keep it clean. No, there is nothing wrong with that hairpot glitch. Just like using an icebreaker or some, you know, fake flippering, one of those. It's the advantage that it gives you. And part of the reason I would imagine Leslie wasn't able to do that is because Leslie went up there without the hookshot. So that influenced the playing decision. I mean, it's rather unlikely based on yes, they are certainly pros, and logic is merely a suggestion. That is a great line. But yeah, based on the amount of checks we have left, it's rather unlikely that your fire rod is in there, and you know it's a huge logic chain puzzle to put all together. Dig game is super missiles. Not the kind of push forward we were hoping for. And Leslie, yeah, chat pointing out, Leslie continuing to put off Skull Woods. That's where the Titans mitts are. So that's not the direction you want to see if you're a Leslie Pro fan here. Giving us a look at Cave 45 while Squirtle picks up the compass. Yeah, 300 bucks is just sitting out there in the open. I'll be honest, Leslie, I've never passed up 300 bucks that were just sitting there on the floor that I could have picked up, but sure, you know. Yes, Skull Woods is where our Pendant Skull Woods, to be clear. Pendant Skull Woods is where our Titans mitts were hiding. In the Kana Samaria chest. The rough part is it's a Pendant Skull Woods that we don't have a fire rod for, so it's even less likely that you'll head your way over there. Unless you start to run out of options. We are going to see what I'd imagine is a hype cave check, though. I don't know if they both have Shovel. I think Shovel was on Dark Death Mountain, which only Ridley had access to. And we will... I don't quote me on it, but I have a feeling... Ooh, there's Quake, so there's your... Oh, and there's Gravity Suit! I'd say it's a pretty hype cave, considering that we know not only is that Gravity Suit going to be required to navigate through the waters of Meridia, but that Quake is our coin-operated entry into Turtle Rock, so that solves that piece of the puzzle, at least. And yeah, Ridley has Shovel, so we'll see if we get a menu from Leslie at some point to let us know, but I think Shovel was on Dark Death Mountain. And yep, right there we go. Leslie does not have Shovel. So, yeah, no shame on Leslie for not mirroring over, but I would imagine we'll see Ridley mirror over when we get the Stumpy check. Okay, Shovel was at Super Bunny. Thank you, chat. And speaking of shovels, gonna get the shovel check here. Supers are always a nice thing to pick up. Not the progression we were hoping for, but you know, always nice to pick up. And Leslie, looks like we're gonna get an escape play from Leslie. I don't think we saw the escape sequence. Yeah, we did not see this play from Leslie's side. We saw it on Ridley's side, so we know there's nothing really worth it down here. But here's your fetch quest to start the chain of the craziness that chat was predicting earlier. We're going to be taking the frog and returning him to the Smiths here. Yeah, Bombos is outstanding, but we don't know if we need it. If Fire Rod is in Ice Palace, we need it no matter what. But we don't know what the entry is for Misery Mire yet. But with that Gravity Suit pickup, that is Misery Mire access, because we can go through the back door now through Lower Norfair. All right, well, the Smiths are just arms dealers today, but it's not even the kind of ammunition you want. It was just a missile expansion, which Ridley, ironically, has been everything to avoid picking up, but has to pick it up there when it gets the handoff from the Smiths. But is going to extend the purple chest here for our checks. Yeah, Hype Cave was nice. All right, well, Leslie, without the lamp, looks like we're going to go back and check Dark Cross. Very well could be something good in here. It can't be the lamp. But it could be the Fire Rod, and the Fire Rod could be lamp locked. So this kind of goes in line with the Harapot thing. That this could help kind of branch out a little bit of what we were going through. Yeah, and Ridley showing off some shovel swag here. I dig it. Ooh. I need a COCOM to keep me in line for my puns. So, unfortunately, what I don't dig is that pickup. Just a heart container. So Leslie not missing anything on not having the shovel there, and is looking for the chest for the Dark Cross here. And gets that light cone just to see what the item was. It's only a missile tank, though. So Dark Cross also not panning out. We can cross that one out, if you will. And we pulled 10 arrows out of the purple chest. Certainly not worth the trip. Well, Leslie Pro is taking that gravity suit. Looks like it's going to be down to Lower North here. If nothing else, it's going to be able to get access to the mire area and 50 supers. No, chat, still haven't seen a lamp or a fire rod. And yes, Book is on the island, so we can't get it till we have flippers, but we do know where it is, should we want to go through the tablet nonsense there. If we have to get flippers to get Book to get to tablets, it doesn't feel good. Certainly does not feel good for them, but is going to be going through, has a pretty easy time navigating this the way the game intended, not having to worry about any skips. Takes space jump with the gravity suit, is going to get into the Lower Norfair access, and is going to be able to double over while down here, as well as taking out Ridley. Going to get a look at the mire area. But chat pointed out a little bit ago, Ridley has access to the big red bomb. This could be really nice. If you joined late or didn't catch it, so Leslie Pro was in Tower of Hera first, pretty early on too, as far as comparing the runs there. I'd say a solid half an hour before Ridley got up there, but Leslie didn't have hook shot, so couldn't Hera pot glitch. And yeah, Hera did turn out to be fire locked. And Ridley, after finding a missile tank, is going to have us wait in suspense here. What could it be? What is the payout? Just missiles and energy, so nothing except information right there. So not the payout that Ridley was hoping for. It certainly helps Leslie out because Leslie hasn't been able to clear out Tower of Hera yet, and it's nothing that Leslie's going to be missing. So that's nice for keeping this race close. And we get a peek at the heart container up there, which Leslie's going to grab, like we said. Still no mail upgrades, not bad. Leslie taking on the gold Chorizo here. At the same time that Ridley's going to be giving us a catfish check. And I don't think... Yeah, Ridley hasn't been over to Big Fish either, so I'd imagine Ridley's going to flip and get bombs. Making short work of the gold Chorizo there. It's going to give us a look at an item as well as access to Misery, as well as access to the Misery Mire area. And Catfish is paying out. Oh, Catfish is teaching you some tricks of the trade because Squirtle knows surf now. A very fitting place to get some fins from a fish. And the mushroom. Oh, and ether is our requirement to Misery Mire, so we do not need any more medallion. Well, that's not true. I'll just go ahead and put my foot in my mouth now because we still don't know if Bombos is going to be our logical way into Ice Palace. So Fire Rod very well could be in Ice Palace if Bombos is our way in there. Oh, but there's the mail upgrade that I feel like we've been hurting for a while. So not only did Leslie get a couple extra heart containers along the way, but picks up blue mail in the Mire Shed. And Ridley going to pick up those Morph Ball bombs after getting flippers. Ridley in a really nice position to keep making progress here through A Link to the Past. But Leslie is down in Lower Norfair, so Leslie's going to be able to get a couple more checks down here, as well as clearing out a required boss fight for Super Metroid. So it's not like Ridley won't be having to make the way down here at some point. Checkerboard Cave. Nothing. Yeah, to clear up something, I don't know if I might have said something wrong there, but lamp is not required. What is required as far as... Well, there's the Dark Room in Turtle Rock and Misery Mire, so lamp is required as far as the logic of the game goes. The runners can certainly navigate their way around it. Although those Misery Mire dark rooms are not easy. As well as some of that, like that dark maze in Turtle Rock. It takes some real skill to navigate through that, which I don't doubt that the runners can do, but I certainly wouldn't want to walk into Misery Mire or Turtle Rock without a lamp or without the ability to find one. Yeah, there's still some chance. I guess Bombos could be on the pendant. But it looks like Ridley is going to be taking those flippers to go with some nifty routing around here and is going to be the back door of Meridia. This is some new territory to be conquered here. Ridley, armed with the gravity suit that we got in Hype Cave, is going to be kind of clearing out a different portion of Super Metroid here. Yeah, I think what I've liked the most about this run on the restream here has been such... I mean, they've been determined to not follow the same routing paths here. And it's definitely hurt in different areas. Oh. And Ridley was kind of already out of not picking up the plasma beam, but then after seeing that appear there, was happy to double time back and grab that. So Ridley with plasma beam and charge and ice is sitting at a pretty nice beam combo there. And some more nothing in Desert Palace. Can't progress any further without fire, so are we going to get a dip here into Misery Mire? It appears to be the case because we have armed the Ether Medallion. Well, Dragon fight on Ridley's side, as well as our first dip into Misery Mire here. And with the grapple beam, Ridley is going to give us a taste of fried shrimp here. Certainly my preferred method of cooking shrimp. Microwave shrimp's just not appealing at all. So what did Dragon have for us? Besides the required boss kill, it was nothing, just some energy. So that's 3 out of 4. Boss is down at 1 hour and 45 minutes for SP Ridley, as Leslie Pro has given us new information here. We're getting a look at Misery Mire. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what the benefits... So we have Skullwoods. Even if Bombos is on the pendant, or on pedestal, it doesn't matter because you'd have Fire Rod at that point. So I don't know that it's even if Bombos is on ped, it's not worth it. Because you need Fire Rod to clear Skullwoods. Oh, there's another item. So that's the 2 that we're going to be looking for down here. And Misery Mire turns out to live up to the name, as it's just some misery that we find down there, and we're going to be taking the portal back over to Lower Norfair. And Leslie Pro is going to clear out Lower Norfair, get the ever-important Ridley kill, and hopefully find something for Troubles down here. Maybe, very well, a fitting place to find a fire rod. Could be the lamp. Hopefully something down here. We know that it's not going to be the Titan's Mitts, and we know it's not going to be the Flippers. And yes, chat, I think that's what I said. I said it can't be anything of value, because if it is Bombos, it doesn't matter, because that wouldn't be your Ice Palace access. You'd need Fire Rod to get to Bombos. So I hope that I said that correctly. Even still, I hope I'm saying that correctly. But either way, yes, I think I'm trying to say the right thing. If I'm saying it wrong, I apologize. Leslie Pro in worst room of the game. Kind of nerfed when you have space jump, power bombs, and some energy to tank these hits from the space pirates. Doesn't have plasma, though, so that is an advantage that Ridley will have when Ridley makes way down here. Let's see what's up at the aqueduct. It's the flute. That's nice. And power bombs, I'm already at 30 and have ice beam. There's not really any worry about it. And thank you for that, chat. Make a little bit of adjustment. Hopefully that fixes it. Nobody wants to listen to a popping mic. Ooh, but there's the wave beam. So we are at full beam combo here for Ridley. Yes, we can at least make some nice music with the flute. We'll be able to travel around. Not really useful for anything other than some map navigation there. Oh, there's the powder. So it's bringing the fetch quests back into logic here. Or back into the realm of possibility, sorry. It's funny, earlier Norfair kind of had all the plethora of nicer items, while Ridley kind of only found the one. It was like the Moon Pearl and something else that was up in the wreck ship that was nice. Screw Attack, hey, certainly what you want to have to navigate through Lower Norfair, so not a bad time to find that. Oh, chat, it's nap time. How can you leave right now? We're hanging on a thread. It all comes together. I'm on the edge of my seat waiting to see what this is going to piece together to be. But I understand. Oh, there's the lamp. There it is. There's some of that progression. Mama Turtle holding out on us. Mama Turtle with kind of like a packed lunch, right? Yes. Good night. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you've enjoyed the race, and check out the VOD to see how this one turns out. And Leslie farming up, hoping to grab some more supers. Is well over the capacity, though. We've got 55 at full count, so on 34 right now, hoping to raise that number, but the magic number being 30. So if you've got 30 supers and you don't miss one, that's Ridley. So 37, a little bit of grace and wiggle room here. Leslie Pro taking on Ridley. Not to be mistaken for SP Ridley, who is on the left side. And is going to be, after taking that save, yep, we're going to be seeing some sandpit checks. We're getting left side first. Staying true to the left side, I see. Got a heart container and some bombs, so that's going to be a reset. And Leslie Pro with 3 supers to spare takes down Ridley. Very nice fight overall. We'll see if there's anything other than the boss requirement here. Maybe get a nice reward on the back end. Could still be the fire rod. Just some power bombs. Not going to say no to it, but not what we were hoping for. And it looks like we've got a heart piece on SP Ridley's side. And I didn't catch the other item, but is kind of noping out of that area. So I'd imagine that it was not important. But I do think we're going to see that Shack Tool check. Ridley is going to be going over to take a look at what's in Shack Tool's care today. And I do want to take this time to point out, if you've enjoyed what you've been seeing today, and I certainly have, it's been a great race so far, please do consider giving these runners a follow. It's a great way to show some love and support as they work hard all throughout the year to prepare and practice to put on great performances for this. So if you enjoyed what you've seen here, you'll be able to enjoy some great content all year round on their channels. And like I said, just a great way to show some support. Let them know that you're really digging what they're doing. So please do consider giving these runners a follow. And if you're going to give the runners a follow, I have to give a shout out to the MVP of the night, our awesome tracker, Warren Traveler, keeping us honest with all these items and locations and everything behind the scenes. So thank you so much to the real MVP, Warren Traveler. Could not do this without you and everybody who helps put these races together. So thank you so much. Shack Tool, you were supposed to have something good. Just some blueberries, nothing fun to write home about. But we are getting some new information here at the Fire Fleas check from Leslie Pro. Oh. I'll say it again. Oh. So Bombos is hiding down there at the Fire Fleas. That has changed the pace of this a little. Bombos could be our progression to get into Ice Palace, make some progress to find a fire rod in there. And that's kind of the end of what we're looking for if we find that fire rod in there. So really, the big question for Leslie is, when do you go to Pendant Skull Woods? Pendant Skull Woods is where those Titans myths were hiding out. Oh. Oh. Hold on. I've gotten ahead of myself because the fire rod is upstairs on the way out. So Bombos, it was nice to see you, but not going to be needing you today because it was kind of the finish the game care package on the way out. So Ridley was kind of pushing for Ice Palace today. Yeah, that's no mode. Ridley offering us, as I said, the finish the game care package. It's dangerous to go it alone, so here's 2 ways to Ice Palace. All right, so really, I mean, the good news for Leslie here, if you can call it good news. The good news for Leslie here is the Titans myths lock a lot more of what's left of A Link to the Past. So that might be helpful. The problem is, once you find the Titans myths, you have to make the call to go over to get the flippers from Catfish And that's a little more of an ask. I think the Titans mitts will come up. I'm a little worried about the flippers for Leslie. On the other hand, though, once Ridley decides to go down and face the namesake Ridley, that's going to be it. That's it pieced together. Yes, so yeah, flippers are definitely hard required to finish to get through Swamp. I'm just concerned that we're gonna get those Titans mitts and then avoid Catfish for a while. Because you can, and not that Go Mode TR is super different depending on big key placement. And Magic Powder was 10 arrows. Oh, we also haven't seen Silver Arrows. That's another thing. Totally forgot about that. Could be on the climb in Ganon's Tower. That's a strong possibility that that's where they're hiding out. But Go Mode TR is not super different. I feel like Go Mode Ice, though, if you're going to use... drawing a blank. If you're going to use the Icebreaker skip, you know, Go Mode Ice is pretty nice. So yeah, this is Leslie's in a little bit of a pickle here because I don't know when you go to Catfish. SP Ridley, on the other hand, is going to go through Mire through the front end. Hey, I'll take a lamp for the dark rooms. No arguments here, but yeah, SP Ridley gets some information that Mire is Ether, so we're good to go. Ridley is also going to be able to use the Mire entrance skip to be able to not have to do as much of the progression to Lower Norfair. You can skip kind of navigating back through Norfair to get to Ridley's lair, and is going to be able to just use this door right here. SP Ridley doing the right moves right now, checking Checkerboard Cave. Very well could take that lamp to clear out the rest of Desert. Oh, I'm sorry, Desert was a pendant. I apologize. So I doubt we'll see a clear of Desert. But is going to be able to clear out Mire. Nope, but not interested right now. More than happy to take this over into Lower Norfair. Going to be rewarded with Go Mode on the way out of Lower Norfair, unless Ridley decides to go back out this way into Mire, although it has the flute access, so I can't imagine that Ridley will trouble to go all the way back through here. Well, the nice thing for Ridley is able to take on the Gold Torizo full beam combo, so you got to sit here and kneel down and do this. You can see just, you know, comparing the two fights, a much faster fight for Ridley. Plasma Beam packs a punch. That's for sure. Well, chat, we've got the answers. We can put it all together. We kind of know where everything is and how to finish everything. It's more of what is going to be prioritized by our runners, and you know, how are they going to navigate and execute some of the end game sequences, and how will that impact the overall, you know, just the overall process of how it all kind of comes together here. So yep, flippers were hiding out at Catfish. And Titan's mitts are in Pendant Skull Woods. I can say for certain that Ridley is going to be in Go Mode soon, because he'll pick up Fire Rod on the way out of this, unless we get some very strange routing on the way out. I'm not sure that the incentive is there. I think with the flute, you can easily get back to Mire should you want to. I think it makes way more sense to check those Lower Norfair exits. And doesn't have screw attack, so has to jump up and do the power bomb. But I think that's the least of your worries here when you have space jump for worst room in the game. And unfortunately for Leslie, is going to have to go through the front door because Leslie doesn't have the flippers. So Leslie has to take on the Batoon fight. Yeah, chat, I definitely feel like Leslie was ahead in the beginning, albeit a minor, maybe a few minutes. If anything, it was just an advantage of just having a lot more items available. But I think the problem is Ridley would always find something that was super important. Like Ridley found the Moon Pearl, so it really didn't matter what Leslie found. Leslie wasn't going to have access to areas, like large portions of the game because the limitations of not having the Moon Pearl. So there's Bombos for Ridley. Considered not getting it because of the medallion requirement, but then rethought about it and thought, I'm definitely gonna regret not getting that if my fire rod is an ice palace. Good news for you, Ridley. It's not. If anything, you would have instantly been bailed out upon this check up here. You're gonna get your fire rod in a second. But Leslie picks up the plasma beam. Certainly helps. Is still a wave beam away from a full beam combo, but Leslie's taking on Dragon, so this is going to be the fourth boss for Leslie. Will be the first of our runners to complete the bosses of Super Metroid. Hey Ridley, look. It's the fire rod. Oh, Leslie did pick up wave. I apologize, I didn't see that on the way to Meridia. So we are going to get microwaved shrimp here. Not my preferred cooking method of any seafood, really. I much prefer Ridley frying the shrimp, but it's a completely valid and a legit way to take down Dragon. And you see Leslie not having any trouble there. So at 2 hours and 4 minutes, Leslie Pro has taken down the fourth Super Metroid boss. Ridley is only a Ridley fight away from being able to have claimed the same title here, but the big difference, as we've been talking about a little bit, is Ridley went up to Pendant Skull Woods, which yielded a very nice turnout because that is where we found our Titan's mitts. And upon searching for other things, Ridley made way over to Catfish, which is where the flippers were. So yes, Ridley is in go mode. And I know we have a charged plasma combo, or a charged full beam combo, excuse me. But something else nice, we are sitting at 60 supers. So we're in a position where we can, deal pretty efficient amounts of damage all around for these end game sequences. But Ridley is facing Ridley. I don't know, chat. Who do you think's going to win this fight, Ridley or Ridley? I've got 50-1 odds that Ridley walks out of this fight alive. Well said, chat. And yeah, Leslie is going to be taking the time. Can't blame it. It's definitely a good play as far as what Leslie knows. And just as I thought, Ridley takes down Ridley. If you had Ridley, you win. Yeah, but as I was saying just before that, totally a good play to check Shack. You're hunting down these Titan's mitts, you're hunting down these flippers. And this is something you don't want to leave behind. If it turns out to be here, you were here, might as well do it. Yeah, if you had Ridley winning, you lose. But if you had Ridley winning, then you win. And it was a good bet too. You win some good money on that one. Yeah, both our runners kind of came up to Shacktool in positions where the hunt was very valid. So, you know, it certainly doesn't feel bad to have checked it and found something good. Oh, but Leslie, just straight disrespect on Shacktool. And Leslie's gonna blind check this, going straight for what's just gonna be bombs. So I'm sure Leslie will kill Shacktool again. Leslie showing some strong distaste for it only being bombs. And interesting, Ridley is going back out that back way of Norfair. Is going to use the warp to head back into A Link to the Past. Can't blame, because like it definitely makes sense. But the best news is Ridley went ahead and checked those items first before going through this process here. So no need for us to worry. Ridley grabbed the fire rod before making double timing back for this. So this is a fine play. And Leslie taking a look at Plasma. It was just missiles. I think we did see this play on Ridley's side, but we pretty much know it's not going to be anything worthwhile, so. Yeah, I mean, the good news, if you can, like I said, if you can call it good news, Leslie is going to run out of options. We're going to have to start going into some of these, you know, accessible dungeons in A Link to the Past. Unfortunately, I don't foresee a world where Leslie also, you know, big brains it over to Catfish as well after getting his Titans. I think the Titans are incoming. I don't think it's going to be a lot longer before we see Titans mitts. It's what's after the Titans mitts that I'm a little nervous about, and there just isn't, in my opinion, there isn't enough time. Squirtle, that's the wrong medallion. There we go. So it really didn't matter that we didn't know, you know, when we weren't sure about the medallions, because we ended up with all three of them in the end. Bombos just there to help us complete the collection. Served no purpose tonight, but... Yeah, Leslie's doing some sand pits. There was nothing in either one of these, so I'd imagine we're going to get some quick resets around here. But Ridley is in Misery Mire on a hunt for the big key. And then is going to proceed down to take on Vitreous. Still haven't seen Silvers, like we said, so the Vitreous fight might go a little longer than normal, but I'm actually wondering if Leslie is able to find Silvers on some of the external stuff. That might help. You know, it shaves a good amount of time off the Ganon fight, although Butter Sword Silverless Ganon is the best you can end up with if you have to do it. So at least Ridley is in a position to make that play. Well, Leslie heading back down to Norfair after clearing out Meridia. It's pretty much a full Super Metroid clear on Leslie's side at this point. I'm not sure that there's much we haven't seen, if anything at all. So Leslie is going to take the trip over to Death Mountain and is going to go ahead up to take down Hera now, having access with that fire source. I must have missed that big key pickup on Leslie's side because that was right away for Ridley. It's a nice place to find the big key when you're go-moding this dungeon. Yeah, and just something else that adds to kind of how the lead gets built up a little bit here. You can see that, Ridley not only able to go mode this dungeon, but also a single dip because Leslie has gone through portions of Misery Mire to collect the 2 items that are in here. So, and then another spot here where Leslie's having to go through the coffee break, just, seconds that add up. No silvers, no problem. Vitreous tosses us a key, but more importantly is going to give us this crystal. That's 3 crystals at 2 hours and 14 minutes for SP Ridley. And this is a mad dash for crystal count here. SP Ridley needs to pick up 4 more crystals and then can go ahead and make the climb into Ganon's tower. Yeah, chat, I would agree. Certainly, SP Ridley's race to lose, that's for sure. I think about the time that we saw Ridley make the play to grab Fire Rod, there was kind of no question because Leslie was doing full clears of Meridia. Oh, and there we go. Leslie might have stepped away there for a second and just kind of wrapping that up. Yeah, Leslie was standing there in the glitch for a little bit there, but no issues. I thought maybe the sprite was stuck, but Leslie seems to be able to move just fine. Grabbing that big key and taking that up the tower now. And about the same time that we begin our Tower of Hera climb, we're getting a dip here. Yes, took the coffee break seriously. We're getting a dip here into Swamp Palace. So, gonna be doing the Diet Swamp. No need to go to the left side. We're not looking for anything anymore. Silvers would be nice, but not required. And I'm sure I've said it plenty of times, and I'm sure chat's tired of hearing me say it, but I think the real, the breakdown here is that no matter what Leslie finds, I think those 2 outstanding items are just too far apart from each other. If you find the myths, that opens too much stuff. If you find the flippers, that opens something like Swamp or, Waterfall Cave. It's going to keep you from going directly to where you need to be. So... But no worries here as Leslie Pro getting second crystal at 2 hours and 16 minutes with a very clean Moldorm fight. Always feels nice to fight Moldorm with a butter sword. Can make quick work of that and not have to worry about getting bullied and pushed around as much. And A spike cave check. Again, makes perfect sense for what we're missing. And SP Ridley go-moding this dungeon, able to not even worry about the water level. Just drains him and keeps moving along. And that was another shield. Oh, we knew that shield was there from Ridley. So that means that the mirror shield was the Main Street missile. So I believe that was a shield over there. Oh, Argus with Buttersword is another one of those boss fights that is made kind of sarcastically easy. Flippers were hiding out of Catfish, and our gold Titan's mitts are in Green Pendant Skull Woods at the Canis Samaria chest. Yeah, Leslie, after taking down Tower of Harem, gets the second red crystal and is going to be going to do the big red bomb check. We saw this from Ridley's side. It's nothing. I think it was a missile tank and an E-tank. Yeah, chat, you're reading my mind there. I don't... Catfish. I think the fire rod maybe pushes you towards Skull Woods a little more, though. That I'm actually surprised that we haven't seen a Skull Woods play. I guess Leslie could get bailed out if Leslie connects Catfish like in the mental picture of it. Like, oh, I could take this straight over to Catfish. I mean, you can. But the fire rod to me pushes you towards Skull Woods. But it really isn't going to make the difference because, you know, Ridley is now into Ice Palace. Is going to be go-moding Ice Palace. Already took down Swamp and Misery Mire. So Ridley's making short work of the Crystal Ketchup here. Or the Crystal Mustard, if you want to call it that. Yeah, this is going to be crystal number 5 for Ridley. And oh no. It's dense. There's a lot of items here. Leslie is going Palace of Darkness. It's a crystal, so we got to do it. But unfortunately, we don't have to do as much of it as we're about to see Leslie do, depending on that big key layout. So there's a good chance that Leslie is going to be doing a lot more Palace of Darkness than we're going to see from Ridley's side. And a very nice icebreaker skip from Ridley. Well executed. Ridley has been very on point with all these. We saw a really nice Harapot earlier. We just saw a really nice icebreaker. So, you know, Ridley showing off some very clean and consistent execution. So, definitely deserving of some hype. Yeah, I guess if you're Leslie, you're hoping for a really late big key here, because that at least means that Ridley's going to have to go through this. Certainly not going to be anywhere near the difference maker, but... And Ridley just showing off how fast these dungeons can be when you're go mode. Yeah, Ridley's been in here for what? 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and is already on a cold stair fight, dropping down. Half magic fire rod. This is nothing to worry about. Gold sword for the puffs. Oh, one does get away. Oh, two get away from him down there. And yeah, chat, that's a very good point. Ridley has had no interest in any, even the easy checks that are right along the path, you know, the ones that you hook shot to use to get across the room. Ridley wants no part of. So a silver's fine could certainly make a difference in a very close race, but That might hint to Ridley feeling behind. If we get the chance to interview Ridley afterwards, we can ask about that. And I'm not familiar with Ridley's playstyle, so that also could just be the way that Ridley tends to play. Is very like non-conservative go modes. Well, our runners are going to be in Palace of Darkness at the same time here. Our Pokemon friend, however, will be much happier to burn through this, as Leslie is still seeking out 2 items, neither of which Leslie's going to find in here. And in case you're joining us late, or maybe just a reminder, Ridley found those Titan's mitts in Green Pendant Skull Woods, as well as the flippers at Catfish, and those are the 2 items that Leslie Pro is hunting down for right now. Not gonna find them here in Pod. And I missed where the big key was, but I see that Leslie has it, so it's at least at this point in the run here. So yeah, we're gonna get a first-hand look at how different the routing is of a go mode pod versus maybe Pod's got what I'm looking for run that you're seeing on Leslie's side. And it's a real shame too, because Leslie, for all the great clean execution and consistency we've seen on Ridley's side, Leslie's been delivering the same kind of awesome run. And so just a matter of not checking Pendant Skull Woods or Catfish, which totally, there was no real good draw to go to Pendant Skull Woods. We didn't have Fire Rod till right about the end. That was fair. So Skull Woods was not one of those places that our runners had a lot of good reasons to stop by. Although I have heard, and chat, feel free to comment on this, I have heard that some people consider those early Skull Woods checks to be dark overworld checks. You kind of lump them in with like Graveyard Ledge or something like that in your mind, instead of considering them part of Skull Woods. But oh, and Leslie getting bullied by the beetle here. Got pushed off a few times. Gonna have to bomb and do something. There we go, to make some progress there. And this has to be where the big key was, yeah, because I missed this pickup. So SP Ridley grabs the big key and is going to be able to head down and take out Helmsaur. So you see the difference in routing here, because Leslie Pro, after fully clearing all of Pod, SP Ridley able to skip the Dark U, able to skip the Dark Maze, able to skip Harmless Hellway and some other stuff. So certainly adds up. And for all the skipping, we didn't see silvers, so it's not even anything that's going to somewhat benefit Leslie in any way. I'm thinking silvers are on the climb in Ganon's Tower. We did see both items in Pendant Desert. We didn't see anything in Ice Palace, though. And we didn't see left side. Well, I say we didn't see left side swamp, but we also didn't see anything else in swamp either. So Well, hello to the Helmosaur King, as Leslie Pro does manage to make it down here. A little bit of a head start to take on Helma. Some pokes with the hammer as well as the gold sword. It's a nice strat to be able to, and just see the impact the gold sword makes on a route because just 2 swipes there. And Helmosaur is down. That's going to be the 3rd crystal for Leslie Pro. 2 hours, 27 and a half or so. But the big thing it isn't for Leslie is it's not Titan's Mitts and it's not Flippers, and it's starting to not feel good, as if it didn't already. And Ridley taking 2 swipes of the gold sword. Taking down Helma as well, and it's just like 30 seconds apart on that kill, so Ridley about to pick up crystal number 5. Oh, sorry, crystal number 6. I used to know how to count, but that was many years ago. Yeah, so that's crystal number 6 at 228 and change, and it's going to be heading up to Turtle Rock for that last crystal. Yeah, 30 seconds apart on that kill, but indeed multiple minutes of time exchanged in that dungeon. So Leslie Pro was in there for a solid, 2 or 3 minutes longer than Ridley was. So you're seeing the advantage of go mode and how that plays into the routing of some of these, especially later game dungeons where you can have to noodle around a little bit to find the items, and it's not very linear. They're buried, so spending a lot of time checking those locations. And speaking of checking locations, we're getting the magic powder here on Leslie Pro's side. We did see this check. I believe it was just 10 arrows, so Leslie's not going to be happy with this. This reward might drive him batty. Well, with that Quake, we can make progress here into Turtle Rock. Again, going to be able to go mode this dungeon on Ridley's side. Leslie is back in SM. I don't know what was left. Chat, if you remember what we're missing, I feel like we had a full clear of Super Metroid. So, oh, and there's your big key. First check of the night in, First check of the night there in Turtle Rock. So Ridley getting a really nice payout. Just has to find a small key over here and can make some progress. Wow. He couldn't ask for a better TR, that's for sure. Yeah, I apologize, but I cannot think of what is left in Super Metroid. And there's that all-important small key as well. So Ridley on a really nice pace to wrap this up. Yeah, Leslie could think that there's something that's been forgotten. That's tough though, because in these combo randomizers, there's almost never. I always see full clears of Super Metroid. But I definitely can understand and appreciate the sense of being in the race and feeling like, where did I leave behind? It can't be. I've checked everything I have access to. Mentality and, when I run these games sometimes casually, because I'm terrible at them. But when I run this game casually, I think all the time, I must have messed up. I must have left something somewhere. And it turns out to not be the case. Looks like was using this to get to Meyer which is odd because we have the... Oh, because we don't have the mitts. Okay, that makes more sense. There we go. I don't know why I ever question the runners. Definitely you had me there in the beginning, Leslie, but we've pieced it together. Yeah, so Leslie can't, even though Leslie is the flute, Leslie can't get to the mire area without those Titans mitts. So good play on Leslie's side to make progress in the game, at least while you're still looking. I think Leslie's found both items in here, so knows that at least the progression isn't here, but can make efforts towards wrapping this dungeon up, which is a very good use of time. Speaking of good uses of time, Ridley is just hammering through Turtle Rock. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little embarrassed that that Leslie had to go that way to get to Mire. This is actually a really nice use of time on Leslie's part. I think there's a lot to be said for plays that you have to think. You know, like Leslie can run through Mire and spend all of this time on autopilot because there's no items down here. So Leslie doesn't have to worry about anything. Autopilot this dungeon and think about what have you overlooked, where you go next to make, you know, a play to get yourself back in this. Yeah, and I know that Leslie knows that he's not going to find anything down here. Because Leslie got 2 items and then noped out when we didn't have lamp. So I definitely can respect the play. That I just need to think and figure out where I need to go next because I'm not finding what I'm looking for. Cane of Burna is not a bad thing to find while you're down here. Laser Bridge, that's for sure. But the real thing that Ridley is looking for is that small key. It's got to be in one. There it is. So it had to be somewhere down here. I'm sure we'll use the Cane of Burna we just found. And speaking of magic and vulnerability, Leslie is going to use the magic cape to take down Vitreous. And with a couple of regular arrow shots, a few more than we need when we have silvers, but nonetheless, Vitreous is down. That's the 4th crystal. 2 hours, 35 minutes for Leslie Pro. And with some of that time to think, let's see where Leslie takes this next play here. No doubt thought up a plan of where to go next. And as one boss is down on Leslie Pro's side, we get the final of our 7 crystal bosses on Ridley's side. And you see right there what the gold sword really does for impact. That was a lightning fast to blink and you miss it on the twin heads of Trinex. And it should be one more slash. Yep, there we go. And that's Trinex down for SP Ridley at 2 hours and just shy of 36 minutes. So we're about to start a climb through Ganon's Tower. And there are 22 possible locations for where that big key can be. That's really the only item we're looking for. So go ahead and throw a number in chat. Let us know where you think that big key might be hiding out. 1 to 22. I'm going to stick with my tried and true number 11. It's halfway through. I'll throw it in there just for fun. And completely informal and just for fun tonight, but gonna have to close it off once we see Ridley make that step in. So not a lot of time. It's the short walk from TR to GT. And with that time to think, it looks like Leslie decided to head over to clear out the rest of Desert Palace. It was an outstanding item, okay, and it was just an E-tank. So the red pendant, pretty worthless tonight, and that's not the way that Leslie wants to be spending time. Doesn't feel great. Got to be running out of checks, though. I would imagine we're going to have to see that Pendant Skull Woods play, and maybe with pendants on the brain. Oh, yeah. I say it every time I'm on comms. There's a difference between bad plays and wrong plays. And you can make a good play that's wrong. And Leslie's certainly taking that fire access to get to the back of desert right while you're already in mire. Makes perfect sense, just isn't paying out. So you've seen check 1, check 2, check 3. And nothing so far on Ridley's side for big keys. Check 4 is $100. Check 5 is another small key. Always nice to have on the climb. Hey, and if you wanted another small key, there's one. So we're up to 7 checks here. And number 8 is missiles. Well, good news for Leslie. We are in the right location. Gonna go head straight through this Kena Samari room, and this is where our Titans mitts have been hiding. Yeah, that does not feel good. Dropping the bombs in distaste. Very unhappy with that placement. Oh boy. Not fun. And unfortunately, with where Leslie is at, makes absolute perfect sense. Check number 9 is the single arrow. It makes absolute perfect sense to head out and full clear this now that you've got Fire Rod. You can check the back. Yeah, it does not feel good, though. And also, in Leslie's mind, I guess flippers could be on pendant, or on pedestal. So we know that, obviously, we know that that is not the case. But 10, 11, well, there goes mine. 12 and 13 yield nothing. So yeah, I paused and thought for a second, what's left that can be on ped? Or I'm sorry, is anything that's left that could be on ped in Leslie's mind? And yes, flippers could be on ped. Logically, flippers are not on ped, but they could be on ped. So that's green pendant. So imagine we'll see a green pendant turn in as well. And between all of this back and forth, I'm pretty sure that was check 13. Chat, feel free to correct me. It was either 14 or 13. I cannot remember. I'm focused on this ped pull here that we're getting. It's not going to be good. And it's the ultimate insult to injury, as it's just some couch cash. 14, 15, 16 is red mail, so we get the nice turtle shell color for Squirtle there. And we're heading over right side now. Out of left side options, makes sense. What do you think? Do we see the tile room check first, or are we going to go full left side and then come back? I think I would stop for tile room if I was here. All right. I guess that's why Ridley's running this and I'm not. Yes, tile room declined. Well, I guess it completely aligns with Ridley's playstyle, right? Because Ridley's been passing up missile tanks, and not want to pause and just take that step in for that makes perfect sense. And we are going to see a turtle rock play, which means Leslie is going to be doing a lot of clearing of TR that we were able to skip over. Oh, and there's the big key. I gotta do my count now to make sure I say the right number. We had... I believe that was 19. Someone feel free to correct me. Chat, you can laugh at me and make fun of me. Was it 19? Was that what it was? I was so focused on the count. No, Leslie is not in go mode. Needs flippers from Catfish. I was so focused on the ped pull that I lost count. I went over in my head real quick though. I think it was 19. Thank you, chat. I appreciate it. Yeah, unfortunately for Leslie, Leslie is going to full TR, hoping that flippers are here. And we saw Ridley clear like 4 chests in TR. So it's going to be a long trudge through TR for Leslie, unfortunately. Yeah, I would be surprised to see the fake flipper to Ice Palace because you need flippers to finish Swamp. So, you know flippers aren't going to be in Ice Palace. You're only looking for flippers. Could use it, could do it just to, you could go mode Swamp. If you could fake flipper and go mode Swamp, that you could do. Just to give yourself time to think of what have I left. And that would be a completely defendable play if Leslie go modes Ice Palace. But if Leslie's checking things in Ice Palace, that's another story because we know that they can't be there. Lambo 2 trying to cause some trouble for Ridley, but nonetheless manages to use that pretty heavy loadout. We've had Gold Sword for quite some time, as well as Half Magic Fire Rod. It's yeah, nothing the Gold Sword can't handle. And no, chat, you can't fake flipper through all the parts of Swamp. So there's a lot of jumping in and out of water and Swamp that you can't fake flipper through. Specifically that entrance part when you first get in there. I'm not sure. I know there's some like diver down things. I don't know. I don't think you need the flippers, but you can't get in because you can't go through that first part with the when you fill the water in the light world and it flips over. So there's no way to skip that. You know, as far as my, you know, and I'd be happy to ask Leslie if we can get in for the chat here afterwards, but I think the push away from Catfish was because Ridley, when we first got Dark World access, Ridley went up to Skullwoods, immediately got the mitts, and then went straight right. Ooh, Ridley getting shoved, bodied over the side there by Moldorm. Does not feel good when you're this close to being able to wrap up ALTTPR here. So especially when you're on the Gold Sword, it only takes the 2 swings. There we go, but manages to take Moldorm down and is going to be heading over to that Aga 2 fight. Yeah, but like I was saying about the play, as soon as Ridley got it, Ridley went right took Mitts and went right across, went to do Graveyard Ledge and some other, like, I'm sorry, I can't remember the other thing that was over there. King's Tomb. And then I think continued, went across. So took the hook shot over to get up to the other side across the river and then kept going. It was all kind of in quick succession. So I think that was the major difference for Leslie, is Leslie took the Dark World access and went south, went through Village of Outcasts, went down to the dig game and kept going. So really, really clean Aga fight for Ridley there. That's how you want to do it. I believe that was a 2-2-2. Yeah, well said, chat, and I can't stress that factor enough. I've been saying that on every comm that I've been doing for weeks. Such a difference between a bad play and a wrong play. And I think it's really important to look at the runners at their skill level, where they're at, and how consistently well they execute this game, and just 2-1-2, sorry. How consistently, yeah, of course, 5. How could I say 2-2-2? It doesn't add up. How consistently well they execute the game, and just like they just kind of get baited by something that eludes them. That's not bad playing at all. So Leslie definitely played better than the seed time is going to show. Unfortunately, it just comes down to when you last location something in 2 video games, you really last locationed it, because that's you've doubled your amount of checks and availability. We are going to find out where those silvers were, though. Oh, in Swamp Palace. You gotta wonder if it was on a really easy pickup, too, like the waterfall chest or something. Because that really wasn't going left side, but it hurts if it's somewhere you could have just grabbed real quick. And really got to be careful here. Getting awful close to the edge. Those sword spin recoils can push you pretty far. But at a little under 2 hours, 50 minutes, Leslie takes down Trinex and picks up the 5th crystal. So Leslie stepping out of Turtle Rock. What is on the mind here? Where do you go for these flippers? Yeah, and unfortunately, by the time Leslie gets down to Swamp Palace, if we do see that on the restream, it's not going to be... Leslie's not going to be for silvers either, so... Okay, so yep, getting the shovel in Super Bunny Cave, which could push Leslie towards the shovel checks. And there we go. Silverless is not a problem for SP Ridley. 2 hours, 50 minutes. That is the big pig down, and that is half of our completion done. We only have to take down Mother Brain, so yes, get our singular G in chat there. As SP Ridley takes down Ganon and is a successful Mother Brain defeat away from wrapping up this seed. All right, Leslie Pro starting back at Link's house makes sense. It's going to take the shovel immediately over to check that. I think it was just a missile tank or a heart container. I don't even remember. Yep, SP Ridley with a full beam loadout, plenty of energy, 60 supers, 85 missiles. Is not going to have any issues here taking down Mother Brain. It was a heart container, okay. Yeah, unfortunately for Leslie, there's not a lot that's left, and I think that Leslie's kind of putting this together. I think we're going to see some of these King's Tomb and Graveyard Ledge checks that should lead up over towards that. Yeah, because for what Titan's Mitts does open, we've cleared it, right? We've seen Turtle Rock. We know we can't get into Swamp Palace, and we know we can't get into Ice Palace, so... Oh, we're gonna go Smith's Chain. I forgot about Smith's Chain. Get kind of further and further off, and this is probably gonna take Leslie down. Purple chest. Yeah, chat, that is for certain. It's bad enough the last location, something when you're playing just ALTTPR or Super Metroid Rando, but when you're playing between both games, last locationing something is just, you almost can never come back from it. So it's definitely a spirit breaker. And SP Ridley not wasting any time, getting through those Metroid rooms pretty quickly, taking advantage of that full beam combo to be able to look freezing him right through the floor. Ooh, does miss that super there, but no worries, catch him right back up. Yeah, Leslie is taking the time to check the hammer pegs. I think this was just 20 bucks, definitely not what we're looking for. Well, Leslie is headed in the right direction. I've not ever seen someone take purple chest to catfish, but this could be it. And the fabled Metroid skip on SP Ridley's side. Gonna take the refill here. Get back in this. Yeah, so we're getting Graveyard Ledge, so maybe we see catfish. Yeah, it's the catfish. When you see those flippers pop out, I mean, that is going to be the old, just like whelp moment. You just kind of want to just gently set your controller down. Sit down, take a pillow, scream into the pillow, then calmly pick up the controller again. It's not going to feel good. I feel so bad because Leslie has executed well and has, you know, put on quite a showing to clear this game as quickly as we've seen. But like we said, that last location, it's a doozy. And we were so close. So close, but no, we're going to flute away from where we need to be. And again, I do not blame Leslie at all for this. You've got the purple chest. You're pushing towards this, but it is not the payout you're hoping to see. And it is going to flute back. Let's see where Leslie's going next. Looks like a move to Link's house. And Ridley making short work of Mother Brain, taking advantage of that full beam combo as well as stacked super count. That charge plasma. Yeah, see how quickly we get to that catch-up phase already. And it does look like Leslie is heading up north in the right direction, where you want to be. Oh, and I just realized when I watched Leslie go up this, I remember how we ended up here. Ridley had the big red bomb, and that's what prompted Ridley to go up and check catfish earlier on, because Ridley was able to use the Harapot skip. That's how we got over here so much earlier on the other side. And here we go. The bomb toss, I guess maybe Leslie knows this has to be it. Couple of bomb tosses. Yep. And here we go. Is going to get the swimwear. Drops the bomb. Leslie is not happy. As none of us would be. Yeah, it had to be there, I think. Gonna take a trip over, use the whirlpool. Why not? Get some quick access to Ice Palace. Gonna go mode ice and then go head over to Swamp. We'll see if we find out where the silvers were. If we get an along the way check for Leslie, although Leslie feels very behind, so I'd be surprised. And Mother Brain, how could she? Takes down the baby Metroid, but it is going to give us what we need. And Ridley is going to be entering this last phase here. Just a couple of hyper beam shots away from starting this escape sequence and hitting that dot. Done. Well deserved from SP Ridley, putting on a great showing here. And has been an extremely entertaining race to watch for all the divergence that we had early on. Our routes kind of lined back up, and we were kind of, check for check here. It wasn't till we had that. It wasn't till Leslie got further and further away from Flippers that it really became an insurmountable lead at that point. But I doubt we'll see the animals. And for all this craziness, going to be very close to a 3 hour. I don't think we're going to quite get the sub 3 hour, but yeah, gonna be close. But I would imagine somewhere close to 301. So for all the running around we had to do, managing to get this done in just around 3 hours is no small feat. And it looks like Leslie's going to go for the bomb jump Ice Palace instead of... instead of Icebreaker. Oh, and chat saying that Ridley usually saves the animals and they appear to be the direction we're going. I never see us save the animals on the streams I comp. Well, be free. Now the game is completely canonical. Yeah, I agree with you there, chat. It is a little strange, but get your GGs in chat. Well-deserved GGs in chat. SP Ridley finishes with an official time of 3 hours and 44 seconds. And those are some well-deserved GG. SP Ridley is the first of our on-stream runners to finish, but is actually the fourth of the runners tonight to run this seed. So let's go over those right now. Well, some congratulations here. First place finisher tonight with a time of 2 hours, 40 minutes, and 59 seconds was Nitorific, followed by a second place finish from PP Chan at 2 hours, 45 minutes, 59 seconds. And our third place finish was Tony T. Young at 2 hours, 48 minutes, and 36 seconds. So all within the last 15 minutes or so. And we'll hang tight just for a little bit and see if we can be joined here by SP Ridley, maybe for a quick interview. But in the meantime, Leslie Pro on the way to the 7th crystal. Gonna be heading to Swamp House. We'll see if we can get a peek at where Silvers was hiding. Yeah, I think the main draw to me to save the animals would be if you were going to get the sub 3, I wouldn't save the animals. But once you know you're not going to get the sub 3, I think it's okay. And I think it's always okay if you choose to do it, but I would value the sub 3 over the save the animals day. An absolutely awesome race by SP Ridley, and a great race by Leslie Pro as well. Really fun to watch both these runners compete and show off and flex some of these great skills that they've got. So, like I said before, I'll throw it up in chat again. I guess maybe I shouldn't throw anything up in chat, right? That sounds gross. No, but please do give these runners a follow if you've enjoyed what you're watching here. Like I said, it's a great way to show some love and support because, you know, they're training all year long on their own channels. So the content that you see here, it's even just as cool, if not better, to watch it and connect with them and show them some love on their channels. So please do give SP Ridley and Leslie Pro 04 a follow. I know that they would both appreciate it a ton. And I think that you'll just have more great content to enjoy. So it's really a win-win. And I wouldn't be anywhere without my MVP awesome tracker who's been holding it down tonight, Warren Traveler. Please give Warren a follow as well. Taking time out of the day to make sure we keep everything honest and and well informed as we go through not just one game, but 2 games filled with items all over. So thank you, Warren. Awesome work. And it does look like we're going to get some item checks here in Swamp Palace. What I hope to see silvers turn up. Not that it would have saved probably, I don't know, like somebody feel free to quote me in chat here, but I'm going to say silvers to silverless on Buttersword is close to a minute? 2 minutes maybe? Yeah, silvers are definitely in Swamp. We got the hint. We just haven't seen them show up yet. Does anyone have a more solid guess than I do on what the time save on silvers versus silverless but Buttersword? Oh, left side Swamp. Okay, well, then I won't hold my breath. So we're not going to see it. I'm interested to know the routing where we saw left side Swamp. Both our runners had flippers and everything well early. We able to go mode Swamp in both cases. We had some significantly different routing. So our runners were kind of really never lined up with anything. And at certain points, a couple of times at certain intersections, were very close. Just a few minutes apart. So despite all the divergences, it was interesting to see how it all panned out. Having a little bit of finicky issues with the driver down. Leslie Pro is just going to head the regular way. It skips the waterfall and everything, so... We saw in chat, though, that silvers are left side Swamp, so wouldn't have seen them anyway. Yeah, Leslie is about to grab 7th crystal, head up to Ganon's Tower. It was a pretty late big key. It was pretty far right side. We'll see which routing Leslie decides to go with. Hookshot Buttersword, no worries here. And at 3:07:27, Leslie Pro grabs the 7th crystal, is going to be heading up to Ganon's Tower. In the meantime, we did have 2 more finishes. So it looks like, I hope I say this name right, it looks like in 5th place we had Landation, finishing with 3 hours, 5 minutes, and 27 seconds, as well as a 6th place finish from Ikir at 3 hours, 6 minutes, and 58 seconds. I see SP Ridley hanging out in chat. You should come join us for a little bit of an interview. Talk about the craziness that just went on. If you're up for it. No worries, Ridley will get on that. Oh, and I see our tracker saying the same thing. See, that's why, Warren, you're the MVP for me. I am happy to sit in the booth and call the action all night long, but I honestly have no idea how to run any of the stuff behind the scenes, so... Well, we do see Leslie going left, at least for the first couple of checks. And is going to continue left. It's a good sign. Might be getting an earlier big key than we saw before. This room is certainly nicer when you have half magic, that's for sure. Yep, and there's the big key for Leslie Pro. Gonna grab an extra small key over here real quick, and then gonna note back to the beginning. And start that climb. Taking down those red mimics. Yeah, and like we said a couple of times tonight, I've been really impressed with Leslie's play throughout it. There were several times where Leslie found some really nice stuff that I thought was gonna, help give Leslie an edge in certain places, and it's a real shame when you last location something because your time never communicates the effort and the skill that you put into something. So. And on a silverless route, definitely makes at least for me, definitely makes sense to grab those extra fairies with the bottles we have and everything. So see if we can get SP Ridley in here. Well, I'm going to apologize, Ridley. I keep pulling up the stuff to send you the thing, but I cannot find your name when I look it up. I'm very sorry. Meanwhile, we've got Leslie Pro. Kind of finishing these couple of rooms here. Yeah, that's what I typed in on Discord. It didn't come up. And that's Moldorm 2 down. Gonna hookshot across this gap and get on with our Aga 2 fight. And the distaste for no silvers. Completely understood. They're in left side swamp, though. Oh, a nice double there. And yeah, that had to be a triple in the first one because we had a double there on the second. So a 3-2-1. Counting down for Leslie Pro as we head into the final Ganon fight here. Now Leslie about to get some information on where those silvers were hiding out. Going for cape strats here. Did you see the silver arrows that are in Swamp Palace? No, we go moded it, but we heard that they're on the left side. So Leslie Pro beginning the silverless portion of the fight here. He said Gold Sword is not the worst if you have to end up going through this. Does manage to get the torch glitch though, so that'll definitely help. Those sword recoils that you take can be awful. You gotta be real careful on the edges, and it looks like Leslie Pro is sticking a little more on the inside. Definitely a safer strat, and definitely the way I would want to run this if I was on a silverless gun. You see how far those recoils can push you out to the side, so still gotta be careful. And there it is. That is Ganon down. Very nice done. Get your single G's in chat for Pro. Taking down the big pig and going to be heading over to Mother Brain to wrap up this very intense and well-fought seed.
Oh.
And we are joined by SP Ridley. Glad we worked that out. GG's, Ridley.
Thank you.
So.
That was something.
Well, there was not one moment where the two of you were running route ever. Every intersection you could, the both of you split off and I'm gonna ask you a quick question. What felt the best when you found? Because there were a couple of things you found that were kind of isolated, so I'm just curious to how you felt when you're picking up some of those items.
Well, obviously I feel like the best item I found was the fire rock that's put me in go mode.
That's true. It's a very good point. I think for us watching, I think the Moon Pearl really set a different
Oh yeah, that one too, yeah.
Because Leslie went the other direction. Leslie went to Norfair.
That's kind of what I had figured, that, you know, like a lot of people were gonna do. But...
Yeah, and that was because there was a lot more to be had in Norfair. We found cane, speed, there was a bunch of stuff down there. A glove. I can't remember everything that was down there, but then Leslie ended up looking for the Moon Pearl because had a lot of A Link to the Past access too, and so I think that really helped your routing for sure. Yeah. So overall, were there just general thoughts? What ran through your head?
Well, a lot of the times it was like I'd get a new item, like I found flippers on catfish, and I kept thinking like, okay, I'm gonna go check Meridian, then I'm gonna go do pod, and then I find another item. I was like, I keep thinking I should go to pod, but I never did.
Yeah, pod was a bust. I'm trying to think of if you have any questions for Ridley while we have you here. Oh, and that was the other big difference was the choice to go to Skull Woods. So yeah, let's break it down. I mean, you had options, so
Well, I mean, there's like whenever I go into Dark World, I usually tend to start at Village of Outcast. And, I don't know. I had Mirror, and I feel like there's a lot more going on. I already had Boost, and I don't know. I just yeah. Even if I didn't have Fire Rod, I know. Like when I check in Skull Woods, at least maybe I'll find something. But then I found Titan's Mist, and then I opted to go back to the mountain to make sure there wasn't anything I was missing.
It pieced together nicely, and I heard that you have a reputation for saving the animals, and you
I did.
Yeah, I thought maybe if you could have grabbed the sub 3 hour, you wouldn't have done it, but
Oh no, I would have tried to do it with sub 3 hours still.
Yeah, chat seemed to think that you were definitely going to do it. So it looks like we're getting an ice Zeb skip here from Leslie. Oh, just missing a little bit of timing there on the Rinka. I mean, this is so hard to do.
Yeah, I haven't quite figured this one out yet.
Well, what I absolutely love about calming these is I'm so bad at racing them. It's so fun to watch good racers play them. So excellent. I mean, your maneuvering through the game was really superb tonight, and some of those clips that you did, set the tone for you. I think one of the big finds was flippers, like you said, and you managed to get down there a little earlier because of the big red bomb because you Harapot.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, that's between your Harapot, your icebreaker. I mean, there was some nice maneuvering through. So, really, congrats on a really nice run race.
Yeah, thanks. It was the stars aligned seed. Can't even like emphasize that more. It's just like everything went right on. Right where I needed to be.
It's not often pod even is completely empty.
Oh my gosh, I hate going to pod too. Like even in go mode pod, I'd still have to do like half the checks to go and load it.
Yeah, unfortunately we saw Leslie do a full clear of Turtle Rock, and that was I think Leslie was counting on flippers on TR. How about that pretty much God Meyer and God TR? It was big keys right away.
Right. Well, the Meyer one was great. Turtle Rock, I was kind of hoping there was a small key before Laser Bridge. That would have been nice.
Well, I mean, hindsight is 20/20, but anything looking back on it that you kind of wish you would I mean, like you said, the stars pretty much aligned really perfectly for you, but anything you wish or felt kind of bad about when it happened, or You're allowed to say no.
No, I know. Well, I was gonna say maybe my like execution could have been like a little bit better against the bosses, I think. But no, it's just more like execution. Like I feel like my routing was on par.
Yeah, it was really put the puzzle pieces together, and it was nice to see a seed. And maybe you feel differently, but for me, it's nice to see a seed where Super Metroid is not. It's not a full clear of Super Metroid. Then you can play Link to the Past, which is so often the case.
Well, I think that was another like part where the puzzle piece just fit in there because instead of going down to Norfair, I went up to Wreck Ship. Because it could have really gone the other way.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of everything tonight because, like I said, it couldn't have been more different. Every time we thought you guys would intersect, it split off again. So we had no mode pretty early because we saw the fire rod pick up, and you were still hunting for it, but obviously
No.
Leslie was without gold Titan's mitts and without the flippers for quite some time. So even Leslie did manage to blind pull Ped as well. So with the
Oh
hopes for
wow, it
flippers,
was on bed.
it was what you could expect. $20.
Yeah, I didn't even like. I thought a few times about picking up the book while I was looking for the fire rod, but I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I didn't think about that because we were, we saw the fire rod so early, so we kind of had that. We were just thinking, when's Ridley going to make the way down to Ridley, for lack of a better.
Right.
But to go ahead and take that on, and that was kind of the thing was because it could have been on tablets, it could have been, for in your case, but we were just waiting for you to go down there so we could wrap it up. We knew where everything was.
Oh, where was Screw Attack?
Screw Attack was at Power Bombs of Shame.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes sense. After I found the fire rod, I was like, nope, I'm not getting anything else. I did for the memes. Grab the validation.
It was something else actually. I noticed pretty early on, about maybe half an hour into the run, maybe 40 minutes, you were just avoiding missile tanks like the plague. So you're not a fan of missile tanks, I guess?
I don't know. I feel like a lot of the animations, like in collecting the items, just kind of drags on and adds on the time. So, the less I pick up, I feel like the better off I am.
Well, speaking of time, get those GGs in chat because Leslie Pro has finished with an official time of 3 hours, 29 minutes, and 32 seconds. Get those GGs in chat because that is a well-deserved fought race from Leslie's side. We'll see if we can get Leslie in here for an interview as well. And Leslie is our 11th place finisher in the stream here. We had quite a few finishes in between since we've last checked in. So let's go over those just real quick. 7th place, we had Tracy M with a 3 hour, 8 minute, and 51 finish. In 8th place, MM2 Nest Cartridge finishes with a 3 hour, 10 minutes, 51. Silver Rain 64, 3:16:41. And looks like Asmati Games, 3:18:16. I apologize if I said any of your names wrong, but GG's to all of our runners and racers today. And it does look like we'll be joined by Leslie Pro. Ridley, did you hear where you were in chat though, so you know where Silver's was?
Oh yeah, well I mean, Ganon told me where Silver's were, but yeah, I was paying attention though.
And
so left side swamp.
Yeah, left side. And we are joined by Leslie Pro GG.
Yeah, I was
GG.
And thanks for the GGs. What happened to me was first near last location, the Titans mitts in Green Pennant Skull. Then I hard last location, the flippers, and I'm just like, its routing was so until that happened.
Yeah, it was really tough to watch because honestly, and I said this to Ridley too, we were talking a minute, is your routes couldn't have been more different. Like, every time there was a chance to intersect, you would both go a different way. And so for all of that, there was a point right before the Titans mitts where you both had kind of lined up. I think even Leslie, you might have had a lead at that point as far as like progressed a little more through A Link to the Past. The real difference was when you got the Dark Road access, you went to Village of Outcasts and continued south, and Ridley took first Dark Road access up north, and that was a big change.
Well, it has been a while since I've had a seed require something in Skull Woods, and Skull Woods was not a pendant. Like, in past versions of the standalone Link to the Past logic, where it focused more on dungeons, you would have seen that at a rate of about coin flip, for lack of a better term. As for now, you really don't see it that often.
Well, it doesn't help when you have so many checks available in both games. You know, it's one thing, and I think chat said it a few times. It's one thing to last location something in a Link to the Past or an SM, but when you last location something between two games, I mean, it's like a needle in a haystack at that point, because then you're even trying to think, what did I miss something in one of the other runs too, like while I was going through.
Yeah, I admit I had that thought going through my head, but honestly, I felt pretty good, like I hadn't missed anything. Like, my Super Metroid routing was very much on point. Like, the game was screaming at you to go to Norfair, and as you were checking through, and then you get Speed Booster, the mind went towards Crocomire, and, well, let's say that turned out well. Honesty. In fact, that call to go Norfair and then wreck ship afterwards was, I thought it was a good call. The call to do cleanup as well, timing may have been a bit weird, but I figured if I wasn't doing it then, when was I doing it?
Well, I said it a number of times tonight, and I feel like I'm getting a reputation for this comment, but there's a difference between bad plays and wrong plays. And you played really well, it just, you missed, like you said, you didn't go to that one or two spots, you know, like Catfish and things like that. So, but none of your plays were bad plays. Everything that you did made total sense, and the execution was great. It was a ton of fun to watch. It just, it was hard to watch you go through, you know, a full, you know, all dungeons, a blind ped pull, and we're like gritting our teeth. We're like, I don't have to do any of this. Like, so it doesn't feel good, but you played really well, and the execution was on point. And like you said, the sea definitely screamed Norfair, that's for sure. But it was interesting because Ridley actually went wreck ship, and that Moon Pearl was one of those things I thought might linger a while. So it was interesting how it all panned out and how close it really was at certain points.
Yeah, let's just say heading into wreck ship, that is a location that I don't allow to linger, because in SMZ3, which is a tournament that's still going and I'm still in, there can be something there, if not gravity suit, then something that could lead to it. So that's part of the reason why that check does not get left behind.
Well, Leslie, I asked Ridley this question. I'm going to pose the same to you. Do you prefer a seed where it's not a full clear of SM? Because so many of these combos is you get everything you need to go mode SM, and then you get to play A Link to the Past. And this was a good mix of both. We kind of had to do chunks at a time, because, you know, you got some stuff late Dark World access, but then the gravity suit and stuff. So just your thoughts on how that felt.
I do like a good balance between the two, but I thought this seed struck a pretty healthy chord of that. Oh yeah, I gotta say this. That fire rod location. that fire rod was probably the single reason why I held off on Skull Woods for as long as I did. And even then, still held off on it longer.
That's funny. I thought the fire rod might have pushed you towards Skull, because at least you can clear it if you're thinking Ped. But you know what's funny is, Ridley, you went down to get Bombos, and it looked like, and maybe it was just inputs, but to us it looked like you backed up, like you're like, I don't need that. It's not an entrance. But then you went back and
I had this crazy thought when I went to go, like, when I saw it, I was like, if I don't grab this, fire rod could be an ice balance. So I was like, let me better go get this.
Yeah, it was funny because we had already seen Leslie go through there. So you did that, and you like kind of doubled back first, then you grabbed it, and I was like, oh, don't worry, because your fire rod's right. Yeah, but I caught that. I thought maybe it was a little. And Leslie, you totally threw me for a loop when you went back through Lower Norfair to get to Meyer, because we were thinking, we're like, why are you doing this? Just take the flute. And I was like, oh yeah. And then you did it, and we figured it was like, oh yeah, you don't have the mitts. That makes sense.
Yeah, a little backstory on that play is that someone I know played an SMZ3 seed recently where one of the pennants was Meyer and the mitts were on the pedestal.
That's rough.
Yeah, I'll admit that was kind of in the back of my mind as a bit of an insurance policy against that disgusting result, because that would have just been gross. Chat might have loved it, but for the runners, it would have been nasty.
Well, chat's always wishing for unspeakable horrors, but fortunately, it was I think it was a pretty tame seed all around. When you don't have to go through pod, and you know, unfortunately, Leslie, you went through pod, but when we didn't have to do a lot of that. We really didn't have to touch the pendants at all, except for that quick grab, kind of just under the doormat of Swamp. So, I think the logic of the seed was rather generous from what I'm used to seeing. So.
Yeah, I mean, unless you want to count Spring Ball at Hera, which is nice, but not necessary.
Well, I had an absolute blast watching both of you run this. So GG's again to both of you. It was absolutely excellent and tons of fun. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your days to put on such an entertaining race. And I know chat enjoyed it.
All right, GG's, Leslie.
All right, GG's. Who knows? Sometimes Rando's gonna rando.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I've heard
Thanks
that
for the feature, much appreciated. I'll catch you all later, because I've got to rest up for tomorrow. Take care, y'all.
Sounds good. Have a good night. GG's,
yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hop out of here too.
Sounds good. GG's, Ridley. Take care, both of you. Thank you. Well, we did have a few more finishes while we were going through some of that. So just a quick second to say GG's to 64-bit Link, who finished with a time of 3 hours, 34 minutes, 45 seconds. And our 13th place finish was Scupula, just quickly behind 64-bit Link there. Scupula with a 3 hour, 35 minutes, and 12-second finish. And once again, GG's to all of our runners, but specifically to the two of our on-stream runners tonight. Please do give them a follow. They are working hard and training and practicing and perfecting these strats all year long to be able to put on an entertaining race like this. So do go give them some love and support, and just hang out in their chat and check out some great content all year long. So again, you can find links in the chat right now. SP Ridley and Leslie Pro 04, two excellent runners. And yeah, can't say enough good things about all the entertaining stuff we saw here tonight. Go give some love and support. Speaking of love and support, give a follow to our awesome tracker, Warren Traveler. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, and yeah, just making this an awesome race. But I think that's going to do it for us here tonight. It has been an absolute pleasure to be able to join you here on Speed Gaming to get to enjoy some Super Metroid: A Link to the Past combo randomizer. I am 329th in line, and as always, be sure to check the Speed Gaming channels to keep up to date. There's always some awesome matches going on, more of Metroid: A Link to the Past, and tons of other great games that are run on this channel all day long. So, like I said, if you enjoy what you see here tonight, you're not going to want to miss some of the more great content. Big thank you to everybody behind the scenes who helps put these together. And again, GG's to all of our runners tonight. I am 329th in line. That's going to do it for me tonight. We'll see you next mission. Have a great night, everyone.